Chapter 1400. When they got together, they were shocked by the scene in front of their eyes. The whole cesspool seemed to have exploded, and Li Chuiying was in the cesspool at this moment. No wonder there was a stinky smell in the yard. The cesspool must have been destroyed. It was strange that it didn't stink. Feng Zhangxia couldn't help but pinch her nose. She couldn't stand the smell. Hua Chunhua didn't care about Li Chuiying at first. Instead, she scolded Li Chuiying right in her face. "Daughter-in-law, are you crazy? Look at what you've done. The cesspool exploded because of you, and the latrine is now in such a mess. How can our old Zhao family go to the latrine?" "Mom." Li Chuiying curled her lips. She was a little disappointed. Shouldn't she care about her first? Why did she scold her instead? It was just a cesspool. She was a big job. Wasn't it more important than a cesspool? The more Li Chuiying thought about it, the more upset she felt. She complained to Hua Chunhua with dissatisfaction. "Mom, I didn't do it on purpose. I accidentally fell into the cesspool. Who would do such a thing for no reason?" Hua Chunhua snorted. "You didn't do it on purpose. Only a stupid person would do such a thing. Ordinary people wouldn't do such a thing. Our old Zhao family is simply suffering from 8 lifetimes of bad luck. I married a B***th like you." Seeing Li Chuiying in such a miserable state, falling into the dung tank and being covered with feces, not to mention the stinky smell, and being scolded by Hua Chunhua, Feng Zhang felt a trace of pity for Li Chuiying for the first time, while he felt comfortable in his heart. After all, Li Chuiying was indeed a little pitiful now. He defended Li Chuiying in front of Hua Chunhua. "Mom, she didn't do it on purpose. Forget it. Don't scold her anymore." Hua Chunhua snorted. "I don't want to argue with this B***th. If I argue with her every day, I'll die of anger." Feng Zhangxia's lips twitched, and she smiled embarrassedly. "Mom, you're right." Hua Chunhua then said to Li Chuiying in the cesspool, "Daughter-in-law, why are you still in the cesspool? Don't you feel disgusted and smelly?" Li Chuiying looked at Hua Chunhua with grievance. "Mom, I want to get up, but I can't. I can't get up from the cesspool." Hua Chunhua looked at Li Chuiying speechlessly. "You idiot. Daughter-in-law, help her out. If she keeps soaking in the cesspool, the stink won't go away. It'll be a few days." When Feng Zhangxia heard that Hua Chunhua wanted her to help Li Chuiying, she pouted unhappily. "Mom, you want me to help her? She didn't want to do such a disgusting thing." Seeing that Li Chuiying's hands and body were covered with feces, Feng Zhangxia felt even more guilty in her heart. Hua Chunhua rolled her eyes at Feng Zhangxia and said to her, "You don't say. Don't tell me you're counting on an old woman like me to help you?" Seeing that Hua Chunhua was unhappy, Feng Zhangxia still felt embarrassed. "Mom, look, daughter-in-law is like this. If I help her, I'll be smelly too. Chapter 1401. When Feng Zhangxia saw Hua Chunhua's unhappy face, she immediately explained, "Mother, what's more, I'm a woman. Even if I pull second sister-in-law, I might not be able to pull her up. I have to find a man to do it." Feng Zhangxia's words made sense. But among the men in the house, the second son was lying on the bed with his buttocks swollen. It was impossible for him to come over and help Hua Chunhua, let alone the other men. Only the eldest son was at home. The others had all gone out to work. Hua Chunhua replied calmly, "Then you can ask eldest brother to come here." Feng Zhangxia naturally wouldn't agree when she heard that the boss was called over. How could her man pull Li Chuiying? Such a disgusting thing. Even if she moved her toes, her man wouldn't do it. "Mom, why do you always ask our family to help you? Why don't you ask other families to help you? You're such a woman. If you can't do it, just say it directly. Why are you wasting time talking about it? Go and see whether our 4th daughter-in-law and 3rd daughter-in-law are back now. If they are, ask them to help second sister-in-law." When Feng Zhangxia heard that this matter could be pushed to someone else, she ran towards the courtyard eagerly. At this time, Li Chuiying, who was in the dung tank, was even more disappointed. She finally saw clearly what kind of people old Zhao's family was. Men were not good. They went out to find other women, and their mother-in-law protected their son. Not only that, they worked themselves to death every day, but they didn't get any praise. Anyway, they were all heartless. She was so miserable, but no one came to help her. It seemed that she was nothing in the eyes of these people. They probably wouldn't care even if she died. The more Li Chuiying thought about it, the more disappointed she became. After Feng Zhangxia ran to the yard, she was lucky. Qian Zhaodate and Liang Jinxiao came back together. Upon seeing the two of them, Feng Zhangxia said excitedly, "Third sister-in-law, fourth sister-in-law, you're home. It's good that you're home." Seeing Feng Zhangxia's anxious look, Liang Jinxiao asked, "Sister-in-law, what's wrong? Is something the matter?" Feng Zhangxia patted her thigh and said, "Of course something big happened. You don't know that your sister-in-law fell into a cesspool." Upon hearing that Li Chuiying had fallen into the cesspool, Qian Zhoujing and Liang Jinxiao's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. They stared at each other for a while. How did he fall into the manure tank? One had to know that under normal circumstances, such a possibility simply did not exist. What kind of accident had happened? Feng Zhangxia hurriedly called out to Qian Hongxia and Liang Jinxiao. "What are you two waiting for? Hurry up and get your sister-in-law out of the water. Don't let her soak in the water for too long. She will stink." Only then did Qian Zhouzheng and Liang Jinxiao come back to their senses. They opened their mouths and hurriedly responded. Then, they followed Feng Zhangxia to the cesspool. When they arrived at the cesspool and saw the scene inside, Qian Zhouzheng and Liang Jinxiao were also shocked. They felt that Li Chuiying was really too pitiful. Compared to Hua Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia, Liang Jinxiao asked Li Chuiying with concern, "Sister-in-law, how are you? Are you okay?" Chapter 1402. Li Chuiying was very touched by Liang Jinxiao's and Qian Zhouzi's concern for her. The rest of old Zhao's family didn't care about her. But these two sisters-in-law were concerned about her. Li Chuiying's nose twitched. She shook her head and said, "It's nothing serious. I'm just a little smelly. I can't get up from the dung." Liang Jinxiao stepped forward and said, "Second sister-in-law, let me help you up. It's not good for you to stay in the dung." Qian Zhouzi also stepped forward and said, "Yes, second sister-in-law, let us help you up." Li Chuiying's nose twitched again. She was touched. Her second and third sisters-in-law were good people, unlike her eldest sister-in-law and her mother, who were both heartless. Li Chuiying looked gratefully at Liang Jinxiao and Qian Zhouzi and said, "Third sister-in-law, fourth sister-in-law, thank you so much." Liang Jinxiao and Qian Zhouzi shook their heads and said, "It's nothing, second sister-in-law. It's what we should do." They couldn't just ignore Li Chuiying and let her soak in the dung. After all, she was their sisters-in-law. They were family. They couldn't just leave her alone. Li Chuiying was touched. She reached out her hand and handed it over. Liang Jinxiao and Qian Zhouzi pulled Li Chuiying out of the dung. After they pulled Li Chuiying out, Li Chuiying sighed and said, "Third sister-in-law, fourth sister-in-law, you two are the only ones who don't despise me now." Liang Jinxiao and Qian Zhouzi both sighed. They felt that Li Chuiying was very pitiful for falling into the dung. How could they despise Li Chuiying? Liang Jinxiao comforted her. "Second sister-in-law, don't say any more. You have so much dung on you. It's best to go to the river and wash it. Otherwise, I'm afraid it won't be clean if you wash it at home." Qian Zhouzi agreed. "Yes, second sister-in-law. We don't have enough water at home. It'll be more convenient if you wash it at the river. You must be feeling uncomfortable now. You'll be fine after washing it. I'll get some locusts for you. It'll be cleaner. After washing it, you'll smell good." Li Chuiying nodded and said, "Okay." In fact, she was thinking the same thing too. Indeed, she couldn't wash it clean at home. Her man was lying on the bed and couldn't move. Who would carry this water for her? It would be better if she went to the river. And when Hua Chunhua saw Li Chuiying climb out of the dung, she said in disgust, "Second sister-in-law, you should go to the river and wash it. The stench on you is too pungent. It'll kill you. You can't wash it at home. Otherwise, it'll make the house very smelly." "Yes, mother. Second sister-in-law has to go to the river and wash it properly. Dozens of basins of water at home won't be enough to wash it clean. If the dirty water is poured in the courtyard, it'll be too smelly." Although Hua Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia were telling the truth, their words were very harsh to Li Chuiying's ears. Li Chuiying's heart sank for a moment, but she didn't say anything. After experiencing this incident, she understood too much. Men were not good people. Her mother-in-law and sister-in-law were also not good people. The only good things in old Zhao's family were the third and fourth concubines. Li Chuiying felt a little guilty when she thought about what she had done to the third and fourth concubines. She was so muddle-headed that she couldn't recognize too many things. Chapter 1403. Qianzurio couldn't stand it any longer and said to Hu Chunhua, "Mother, don't scold second sister-in-law. She's feeling bad too." Hu Chunhua snorted in her heart. Qianzurio tugged at Li Chuiying's hand and said to Li Chuiying, "Second sister-in-law, let's go wash up by the river." Li Chuiying was very touched and nodded in response. Okay. The few sisters-in-law came out of the latrine together. Qianzurio took out some soap and handed it to Li Chuiying. She said to Li Chuiying, "Second sister-in-law, this soap is from my family. You can use it." Li Chuiying took it and thanked her gratefully. "Fourth sister-in-law, thank you. I'll return the soap to you later." Qianzurio smiled and said, "Second sister-in-law, you don't have to be so polite with me. It's not a big deal. We're family. It's just a little soap. There's no need to be so calculative." Li Chuiying shook his head and said, "That's not it. Fourth sister-in-law, it's the thought that counts. Although it's just a little thing, you can't be so casual. I'll definitely return it to you later." Seeing Li Chuiying's insistence, Qianzurio couldn't say anything else. She nodded and said, "Okay, second sister-in-law. If you want to return it, then return it. It's okay if you don't." "Okay." Just as Li Chuiying was about to leave, Hu Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia followed him to the courtyard. Hu Chunhua said to Li Chuiying, "Second sister-in-law, you've ruined the latrine. When you're done, you have to come back and clean it up properly. It's so dirty now. How are the others going to use the latrine?" Hu Chunhua didn't have any sympathy for Li Chuiying's situation. Now, not only did he not care about Li Chuiying's situation, but he even said such words. This made Li Chuiying even more bitterly disappointed. Faced with Hu Chunhua's slightly arrogant face, Li Chuiying didn't have the energy or the mood to argue with Hu Chunhua. At the same time, she knew that she was indeed responsible for what had happened to the manure tank. She nodded and replied, "Mother, I understand. Good that you know. It's not that you haven't done anything good. Even the courtyard is smelly because of you. You really can't stay here any longer. Forget it, I'd better go inside. It's too smoky outside," Hu Chunhua said and went into the room. Li Chuiying felt very uncomfortable when he saw the disgusted expression on her face. Forget it, forget it. Whatever this old woman said, she would do. Naturally, she wouldn't argue with her. She just felt stifled. Looking at Li Chuiying's dejected expression, Qian Zhozha and Liang Jinxiao went forward to comfort her. Liang Jinxiao said, "Second sister-in-law, go wash up by the river first. I'll help you clean the manure tank." Li Chuiying naturally didn't want to trouble Liang Jinxiao to do this. She hurriedly waved her hand and said, No, 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 third sister-in-law, there's no need. How can I trouble you with such a dirty job? I'll do it myself." Liang Jinxiao smiled. "Second sister-in-law, it's okay. You'll be clean after you wash up later. If you come back to clean the manure tank, you'll get dirty again. After I'm done, I'll go wash up." Li Chuiying felt that her eyes were a little hazy, as if tears were rolling in her eyes. She was too embarrassed to let Qian Zhozha and Liang Jinxiao see her crying, so she hurriedly swallowed the tears back into her stomach. Chapter 1404. That's enough, second sister-in-law. Hurry up and go. Okay. Li Chuiying choked with sobs and hurried towards the river. After Li Chuiying's figure disappeared from old Zhao's courtyard, Qian Zhuzha went up to Liang Jinxiao and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Third sister-in-law, I feel that second sister-in-law is a little different today." Liang Jinxiao looked at Qian Zhuzha in confusion and asked, "Different? Fourth sister-in-law, what do you think is different? Are you saying that second sister-in-law is covered in feces today?" Qian Zhuzha hurriedly said, No, no, no. Third sister-in-law, I'm not saying that second sister-in-law looks different. I just feel that second sister-in-law is different today." "Is she?" Liang Jinxiao pondered for a moment. Why didn't she notice anything different? "Third sister-in-law, don't you think that second sister-in-law is much more polite today? If it was in the past, she would definitely be very happy to help us. She would definitely not be courteous to us. But today second sister-in-law is not only courteous to us, she even thanked us. Qian Zhuzhe muttered in front of Liang Jinxiao. Of course, the most important thing was that Li Chuiying was not just saying it on the surface. She was being courteous to them from the bottom of her heart, and thanked them. After Qian Zhuzhe said this, Liang Jinxiao felt that this was indeed the case. Not only that, Li Chuiying did not speak much today, and her expression was very different from usual. Liang Jinxiao sighed and said, "Fourth sister-in-law, do you think that second sister-in-law is in trouble? Otherwise, why would she fall into the latrine pit?" "I think so." Qian Zhuzhe nodded and replied, "But we can't ask her about it. If we ask second sister-in-law, she might be even sadder." Okay, let's not talk about it then." On the other hand, the moment Li Chuiying walked out, a foul smell attracted the attention of many people. Walking in the village, it was inevitable to bump into some people. Many people laughed when they saw Li Chuiying covered in feces. Look, old Zhao's second daughter-in-law must have fallen into a cesspool. She's covered all over. After someone shouted, the people who wanted to join in the fun hurriedly came over and surrounded Li Chuiying. "Oh my god, he's really covered in shit. This is the first time I've seen someone fall into a dung tank. Ha ha ha. Are you blind? How could you fall into a dung tank?" "Yeah, that's too careless. What can we do?" "Most likely, he broke the deck and fell in." "That's not it. Sometimes, when people are unlucky, they will be like this. Everything they do will be unlucky. I think she's been rather miserable these days. Her man cheated on her with another woman, and now she's fallen into a dung tank. Sigh. If it were me with such bad luck, I would definitely get some yellow paper and incense sticks, and go to the Temple of Earth to pray. I have to get rid of the bad luck." These people chattered incessantly, which made Li Chuiying very annoyed. Hearing the discussions and ridicule of others, Li Chuiying felt that his face was burning. Needless to say, after today, he would become the laughingstock of the village. Chapter 1405. The onlookers naturally ignored Li Chuiying. They continued to cover their mouths and laugh. Look at her. She fell into the latrine, and didn't even let others say anything. If she can't do it, she shouldn't have come out. She came out and was seen by others. Why can't she let others say anything? That's right. Anyway, we all know. It's not a big deal if one more person sees it. It's rare for the village to see something interesting. Why can't we watch it? Facing these villagers, Li Chuiying was speechless and helpless. Since these people wanted to see it, she would let them. Li Chuiying rolled her eyes and said to the onlookers, "Fine. Since you want to see it, I'll let you see it to your heart's content. Come closer and have a good look." Saying that, Li Chuiying rushed to the onlookers. If they were far away, they would be able to see it. Now that they were close, they could smell the stench and risk being stained by Li Chuiying's feces. When the onlookers saw Li Chuiying rushing over, they were scared out of their wits and hurriedly ran away. Li Chuiying snorted in her heart. These people were indeed despicable. They refused to listen to her and forced her to use a special method. "Don't you want to see it? Then let's see it. Why are you running away in fear?" "Seriously, I didn't let you see it, but you insisted. Now I let you see it, but you don't want to see it. What do you want?" Hearing Li Chuiying's words, the onlookers frowned and said to Li Chuiying, "Sisterly, don't you think you're disgusting? You're covered in feces. What should we do if you get dirty when you get close to us?" "It stinks. The smell is so strong that it stinks me to death." "Hey, it's the first time I've smelled something so stinky. Old Zhao's second daughter-in-law is so stinky, but she still dares to come to us. Is she afraid that others don't know how stinky she is?" "It must be." Li Chuiying warned them coldly. "Don't talk nonsense. If I see any of you staring at me or talking about me, I'll go up to you and smoke you to death. By the way, I can't guarantee that I didn't dirty your clothes." Li Chuiying finished his words. Many people shut their mouths in fear. No one wanted to be covered in feces by Li Chuiying. Only a few gossipy women heard Li Chuiying's words and said angrily, "Why is old Zhao's second daughter-in-law so unreasonable? Why can't she show us?" As soon as the man finished speaking, he saw Li Chuiying rush over. The woman was so scared that she hurriedly ran away. After Li Chuiying's words, no one dared to go up and say anything to Li Chuiying. Let's go, let's go. Actually, there's nothing to see here. Yeah, let's go. Stop looking. There's nothing to see here. After Li Chuiying's words, the onlookers didn't dare to continue watching. Crazy people were the scariest people these days, and they definitely couldn't be provoked. After the onlookers left, Li Chuiying understood what had happened. Chapter 1406. Without the onlookers, Li Chuiying felt better and continued to walk forward. Soon they arrived at the riverside. At this time, there were many people washing by the riverside. Zhao Yin'er was also there. Seeing Li Chuiying walking over with feces all over her body, Zhao Yin'er couldn't help but want to laugh. What exactly had his second aunt experienced? She looked so pitiful. However, in Zhao Yin'er's opinion, Li Chuiying was not a good person. She didn't have any pity for Li Chuiying's experience. Zhao Yin'er guessed that it was most likely Li Chuiying's own death. The fact was similar to Zhao Yin'er's guess. Li Chuiying also realized that her stomach was in pain. She had diarrhea like this. It may be because she stole the third branch's sour plum soup. That soup was cold. It was easy to have diarrhea after drinking too much. Li Chuiying was very regretful. Not only had she done something wrong to her third sister-in-law, but she had also caused trouble for herself. Now that she thought about it, it was God's punishment for her. In the future, even if she did this kind of thing, she would never harm the third branch or the fourth branch. She would only target the other heartless people in old Zhao's family. After arriving at the riverside, Zhao Yin'er just watched the show quietly. The women washing by the riverside had already started to talk about it. Look what happened to old Zhao's daughter-in-law. Yeah, why is she covered in feces? Haha, she must have fallen into the feces vat. It's the first time I've heard of someone falling into a feces vat. Haha, it's so funny. I guess we'll laugh for a long time. It's the first time I've seen such a thing. How stupid can she be to fall into a feces vat? Haha, I don't know. But looking at her, she'll become famous in our village. Maybe it will spread to other villages. As the saying goes, good news never stays hidden, but bad news travels for 1,000 miles. Later on, old Zhao's second daughter-in-law will definitely be famous within a radius of a few hundred miles. Li Chuiying's mouth twitched when she heard the women's laughter. The louder they laughed, the angrier she got. It was a pity that their mouths were grown on other people's mouths. And these people didn't gather in front of her to look at her, so she couldn't make a fuss. Li Chuiying's face darkened. He decided to ignore these people. The most important thing was to wash her body clean. Her body was so smelly that she almost couldn't take it anymore. Li Chuiying's indifferent reaction made these people feel very bored. What they wanted to see was naturally Li Chuiying's embarrassed and vexed expression. The closer Li Chuiying got to the river, the more these people covered their noses and said, "It stinks, it stinks." The closer they get to us, the stronger the smell. We can't be smothered. Li Chuiying, what do you want to do? Why do you have to walk towards us? Don't you know you stink? Seriously. How can she walk towards us and scold us? If we hide at home, we won't come out. Li Chuiying, don't come here. What are you doing here? Go away, go away. Li Chuiying was urged by several women in disgust. Chapter 1407. Hearing that Li Chuiying was going to take a bath, the women by the river couldn't stay calm. If Li Chuiying was going to take a bath under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be a big deal. However, in this situation, the water by the river would be smelly after taking a bath. They were either washing clothes or vegetables. What would they do if the water got dirty? The women by the river stopped Li Chuiying and argued with Li Chuiying. Li Chuiying, you can't take a bath in the river. Exactly. If the water gets dirty, where can we go to take a bath? Li Chuiying, this river doesn't belong to only you. If you want to take a bath, go somewhere else. We still have to wash clothes and vegetables. You can't just think about yourself and ignore the rest of us. She was stopped by the women by the river, who didn't allow her to go forward. Li Chuiying realized that it wasn't a good idea for her to do so. In addition, the women's cold words and obstruction made Li Chuiying give up. If they didn't allow her to take a bath here, she could just go downstream. If she went downstream, It wouldn't affect anyone, so they wouldn't say anything. Then I'll go downstream. Li Chueying murmured, then turned around and left. Li Chueying's back looked lonely, and Li Chueying, who was covered in feces, looked very embarrassed. For some reason, Zhao Yun'er suddenly felt that Li Chueying was very pitiful. She even sympathized with her. Most importantly, Zhao Yun'er found that Li Chueying seemed to be different from before. According to Li Chueying's character, shouldn't she argue with these women? Why was she suddenly so nice today? After Li Chueying's back disappeared, the women began to talk about it again. Well, Li Chueying is honest and sensible. If she didn't know what's good for her, I would definitely teach her a lesson. How can she not know what's good for her? It's embarrassing for her. How can she dare to be dishonest? That's true. Since she has done something embarrassing, she shouldn't have come out to make a fool of herself. Of course, if it were us, we wouldn't say anything either. After washing her hands, Zhao Yun'er didn't continue to listen to the other women's discussion. She took the wooden basin back. Li Chueying went downstream to the river, took off her clothes and washed them carefully. Luckily, there was no one else downstream, so she didn't have to worry about her naked body. As soon as she took off her clothes, the disgusting smell became stronger. Li Chueying couldn't help but feel a little nauseous. Li Chueying hurriedly floated her clothes in the water. When there was less dirt on them, she rubbed them with her hands and poured some soap on them. The most difficult thing to wash was her own body. She had to wash it thoroughly from top to bottom. She applied a lot of soap and rubbed her clothes repeatedly in the water, but there was still the smell of feces. Li Chueying could only sigh. She estimated that she couldn't wash herself clean. This kind of smell could only be removed after a few days. After washing for about an hour, Li Chueying almost used up all the strength in her body. She slowly climbed out of the water. When she turned around, she found a man staring at her on the shore. Everyone in the village knew this man. He was Lu San. Chapter 1408. You shameless man. How dare you peek at me bathing? I'm going to gouge your eyes out. Bah! Li Chueying spat on the ground as she spoke. Lu San glanced at Li Chueying indifferently and said to Li Chueying, "So what? I didn't come over to see you on purpose. Why don't you take a look at yourself? Who wants to see you?" He had already seen her, and now he said such sarcastic words. Li Chueying was furious. This Lu San was simply taking advantage of her. Then why are you still looking? Shameless man. Aren't you afraid of being scolded? Being scolded by Li Chueying, Lu San also lost his temper. You bitch, are you done yet? I think you're rengeeing. With such a face, which man would like you? Lu San's words pierced Li Chueying's heart. Wasn't her man looking for Widow Qian because she wasn't good-looking? If she was good-looking, it would not be like this. Li Chueying's face revealed a trace of sadness, but Lu San continued to coldly snort and said, "It's simply an eyesore. Now that I've seen it, I feel disgusted. It's better to go look at other little beauties." With that, Lu San prepared to leave. Li Chueying grabbed Lu San very unhappily and said to Lu San, "What are you talking about? You took advantage of her, and now you're saying you're the one who suffered losses? What do you want? Hurry up and let go of me, or I won't be polite to you." Li Chueying put her hands on her waist and stared at Lu San angrily. "Won't be polite? Tell me, how are you going to be rude to me? Stinky man, you're shameless. Hey, you're being unreasonable, bitch. I'm giving you face, but you don't want it. Fine, I'll teach you a lesson today. Let's see if you still dare to talk nonsense." With that, Lu San raised his fist and swung it in Li Chueying's direction. Just as Li Chueying was about to dodge, a man suddenly rushed out of the woods. "A man hitting a woman. Where's your face?" a deep and hoarse voice said. Li Chueying's heart trembled slightly. She looked up and glanced at the man who came. He grabbed Lu San's hand with one hand. In front of him, Lu San had no strength to refute at all. Grabbing Lu San was no different from grabbing a chicken. The reason why the man was so strong was because he was tall and sturdy. His curled arms were full of muscles and had a strong sense of strength. This kind of man is strong. Li Chueying sighed in her heart. Li Chueying knew the man who helped Li Chueying. He was Zhao Ping, a bachelor in the village. His ancestors were from the same sect as old Zhao's family. Because his family was poor, He didn't have any land and his house was shabby, so he couldn't get a wife. What he did on a daily basis was hard work. He exerted his strength and developed a body full of muscles. Lu San said to Zhao Ping with displeasure, "It's my business. Mind your own business." Saying that, Lu San continued to struggle. It was a pity that Lu San did not work much and often liked to do things in bed. His body had long been hollowed out, and his physique was not good at all. Against Zhao Ping, he could not struggle at all, and let Zhao Ping hold him in his hands. "You, let go of me right now," Lu San said in anger. "You can't. You bully a woman casually. I won't let you go unless you promise not to hurt her." Zhao Ping pointed at Li Chuiying. Chapter 1409. Okay. I promise you, okay? Let go of me. Zhao Ping snorted softly and shook off Lu San's hand. Lu San was thrown out heavily. He staggered and glanced at Zhao Ping unwillingly. Then he turned around and left. He knew that if an egg smashed a rock, the rock would break. Naturally, he wouldn't touch it again. Seeing Lu San leave in a sorry state, Li Chuiying breathed a sigh of relief. Although she didn't argue with Lu San, at least she didn't have to be bullied by Lu San. "Are you okay?" Zhao Ping asked Li Chuiying with concern. Li Chuiying looked at the tall and burly Zhao Ping and felt very touched. She shook her head and said with a smile, "I'm fine." For so long, there were very few people who helped and protected her. She didn't expect Zhao Ping, who didn't interact much with her, to help her. That's good. As a woman, you should be careful. Next time, don't get involved with Lu San. That man is not to be trifled with. Got it. Thank you for the reminder. Zhao Ping shook his head. You're welcome. I'll leave first. Okay. Looking at Zhao Ping's back, Li Chuiying couldn't help but sigh. If only her man could be as good as Zhao Ping. Unfortunately, Zhao Wenshui was definitely not half as good as Zhao Ping. Li Chuiying let out a sigh and went back. Seeing Li Chuiying come back, Liang Jinxiao came up and said to Li Chuiying, "Second sister-in-law, are you okay?" Li Chuiying shook her head and said, "I'm fine. I'm done washing up." "Okay, I've also cleaned up the latrine for you. Now go change your clothes. You can't be wet. You'll catch a cold." Looking at Liang Jinxiao's concerned eyes, Li Chuiying's nose twitched and said, "Okay, I'll go change now. Third sister-in-law, thank you so much this time. You've worked hard." "All right, second sister-in-law, don't be so courteous with me. Hurry up and change your clothes." Li Chuiying nodded. Just as she was about to go in and change, she suddenly thought of something. She stopped in her tracks and stopped. "What's wrong, second sister-in-law?" "Third sister-in-law, I have something to say to you." Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "Second sister-in-law, if you have something to say, just say it." Li Chuiying held Liang Jinxiao's hand and sighed. Third sister-in-law. Second sister-in-law was muddle-headed in the past and didn't understand many things. Now that I've thought it through, I know who's not nice to me. Third sister-in-law. Second sister-in-law used to make things difficult for you. Don't take it to heart. Second sister-in-law won't do it again in the future. Hearing Li Chuiying's words, Liang Jinxiao couldn't help but feel a little strange. But more than that, he was shocked and couldn't believe it. If someone else had said this, it would have been normal. But Li Chuiying really didn't sound normal. But when he met Li Chuiying's eyes, he saw that they were very sincere. Second sister-in-law, what are you talking about? Let the past be the past. People should look forward. Yes. Li Chuiying nodded vigorously and responded. Then, she returned to the second branch's room. Liang Jinxiao looked at Li Chuiying's back view and muttered in his heart. It seemed that his second sister-in-law was really starting to change for the better. It was naturally a good thing that Li Chuiying could change for the better. Originally, relatives should help each other more and not bicker and fuss over every little thing. Chapter 1410. No one would have thought that Li Chuiying's change was because of a tank of dung. It was ridiculous and sad. Liang Jinxiao shook her head, and the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. She then followed him into her room. As soon as Li Chuiying returned to the second branch's room, Zhao Wenshui scolded Li Chuiying. "You stinky woman, you have guts. You dare to leave your husband hanging and not listen to him. Your skin is too thick. You need to be taught a lesson, right?" If it had been before, Li Chuiying might have humbled herself in front of Zhao Wenshui and coaxed Zhao Wenshui. Now she thought it through. Why should she treat Zhao Wenshui well in front of such a heartless man? He then replied to Zhao Wenshui indifferently. Zhao Wenshui, you have to act with some conscience. How can you have the nerve to say such things? Why should I listen to you? Hearing Li Chuiying's reply, Zhao Wenshui lost his temper. Fine. Are you trying to piss me off? I'm your husband. Why don't you listen to me? Which woman in the village doesn't listen to her husband? Don't tell me you're the exception. Li Chuiying was also unconvinced. Zhao Wenshui, my husband is a man. Are you the same? Ask yourself, are you worthy of me for what you've done? Zhao Wenshui understood that Li Chuiying was referring to his affair with widow Qian, so he grumbled unhappily. So what? It's normal for a man to sleep with a woman. Didn't I sleep with widow Qian? Don't people go to brothels to visit prostitutes? At least I didn't do that. Li Chuiying snorted. She didn't know why Zhao Wenshui dared to say that. If it were her, she would never say that. Zhao Wenshui, you don't have money. If you did, you would sleep with women in brothels too. I really misjudged you. That's why I married you back then. Zhao Wenshui was infuriated by Li Chuiying's words. What was this bitch talking about? Li Chuiying, who do you think you are? If you don't listen to me and talk to me like that, I'll divorce you. Zhao Wenshui thought that his words could scare Li Chuiying. Unfortunately, to Zhao Wenshui's disappointment, Li Chuiying replied with disdain. Fine, Zhao Wenshui. I'm a woman. I'm afraid that I won't be able to get married again. But you. Let's see who will serve you without me. Let's see if your mother is willing to spend money to marry another wife for you. Zhao Wenshui was speechless after being scolded by Li Chuiying. Without a doubt, Li Chuiying was right. Without Li Chuiying, there would be no one to serve him. As for his mother, money was extremely important. If he asked his mother to spend money to marry him, then forget it. He couldn't count on her at all. Zhao Wenshui couldn't help but look at Li Chuiying again. He was puzzled. When did his wife become so smart? It wasn't easy for her to think of this. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui was silent, Li Chuiying didn't continue to talk to Zhao Wenshui. She opened the closet and found a set of clean clothes to change into. On the other side, Zhao Yin'er saw a carriage parked in front of her house after she returned with the wooden basin. Looking into Helian Chen's pleading eyes, Mu Lianfeng rolled his eyes at Helian Chen and said to Helian Chen, Ah Chen, you said the same thing just now. Do you think I'll believe you? Helian Chen felt very embarrassed after being exposed by Mu Lianfeng. Chapter 14:12. Mu Lianfeng felt a little wronged. Heartless people were like this. Those with a conscience would definitely not say such things. Alright, you can say whatever you want. I don't care. You, Helian Chen glared at Mu Lianfeng angrily, and continued to mutter that Mu Lianfeng was too petty. Zhao Yin could not help but shake her head when she saw Helian Chen's appearance. When a man acted coquettishly, he was even more powerful than a woman. Zhao Yin could not stand Helian Chen's tone when he spoke to Mu Lianfeng. Fortunately, Helian Chen was a man. If Helian Chen was a woman, she would definitely not let Mu Lianfeng and Helian Chen have too much contact. After all, women who acted coquettishly were the scariest. Men were easily charmed by women who acted coquettishly. Zhao Yin'er walked into the house and smiled at Mu Lianfeng. Since she wants to drink, you can give it to her. It's not like our house doesn't have it. When Helian Chen saw Zhao Yin'er come in, he said with a smile, Ah, Miss Yin'er is back. Zhao Yin'er nodded lightly and responded. Helian Chen hurriedly said, Ah Feng, look, Miss Yin'er is still the best. She's not as petty as you. The corner of Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched. He should not have been soft-hearted and cared about Helian Chen's life and death. So he said, Since you want to eat, you can eat. I won't stop you. But if your stomach hurts, don't blame me for not reminding you. Helian Chen hurriedly nodded and replied, I know. Other people have stomachaches, but I won't. Mu Lianfeng was speechless. A dead pig was not afraid of boiling water. This Helian Chen probably would not listen no matter what he said. Since that was the case, then forget it. If he said too much, it would only make people despise him. Why should he do such a thing? Well, since you said so, Then go ahead and drink, Mu Lianfeng said helplessly. Zhao Yuner took the bowl that Helian Chen had drunk from, and said to Helian Chen, I'll go get it. Helian Chen was flattered as he looked at Zhao Yuner. He immediately nodded and said, Sure. Thank you, Miss Yuner. Zhao Yuner shook her head, the corner of her mouth slightly raised, and said with a smile, You're welcome. Humph. Since they said that Mu Lianfeng had no conscience, then let Helian Chen drink well, drink more. When the time came for her stomach to hurt, she would know who was the heartless one. Mu Lianfeng caught a hint of craftiness in Zhao Yuner's eyes, and understood that Zhao Yuner probably had some bad intentions again. Sometimes, his Yuner still made people feel that she was very cute when she was up to mischief. Zhao Yuner quickly scooped a bowl of sour plum soup, and placed it on the table, beckoning Helian Chen to drink. Helian Chen's face was filled with unconcealable excitement and happiness. He held the sour plum soup that Zhao Yuner gave him and drank it happily. Seeing this, Zhao Yuner's smile became even brighter. Drink. You'll probably have a stomachache soon. She specially added a few more ice cubes. After Helian Chen finished the bowl of sour plum soup, he licked the corner of his mouth, as if he had not had enough, and used his long sleeve to wipe the corner of his mouth. Miss Yuner, this is delicious, Helian Chen exclaimed with a smile in front of Mu Lianfeng. Young Master Helian, do you still want to drink? Do you want me to scoop some more for you? Zhao Yuner's enthusiasm and politeness made Helian Chen a little embarrassed. Chapter 14:13. Helian Chen looked at Mu Lianfeng and asked for Mu Lianfeng's opinion, as if he was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would not agree. If it was just now, Mu Lianfeng would probably stop Helian Chen. After knowing Zhao Yuner's intention, he replied indifferently, If you want to drink, then drink. I won't really stop you and not let you drink. Helian Chen laughed cheekily and said, Ah Feng, it's good that you said that. If you don't allow it, I definitely won't drink it. Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched. This guy, who was he trying to fool? Probably only a ghost would believe him if he said this, right? Alright. So much nonsense. How can I not know what you're thinking? Helian Chen felt like he was seen through by Mu Lianfeng. This friend who grew up with him was different. He could fool anyone, but he could not fool Mu Lianfeng. Helian Chen hurriedly handed the bowl to Zhao Yuner and said to Zhao Yuner, Miss Yuner, I'll have to trouble you to get me another bowl. Zhao Yuner said with a smile, It's fine. You can drink as many bowls as you want. Anyway, I have a lot at home and can't finish it. With Zhao Yuner's words and Mu Lianfeng's agreement, Helian Chen prepared to drink without worry. Very quickly, Zhao Yuner got another bowl for Helian Chen. Helian Chen gulped and drank the big bowl. Seeing that Helian Chen finished drinking, Zhao Yuner continued to fill Helian Chen's bowl. After Helian Chen drank 3 more bowls, he let out a loud burp and could not drink anymore. I'm full, I'm satisfied. Miss Yin, you don't have to buy more for me. Thank you so much. You're welcome. It's fine as long as you're done drinking. Our family doesn't lack this stuff. If young Master Helian wants to drink it, we'll definitely give it to young Master Helian. Otherwise, wouldn't young Master Helian say that we're too stingy? We can't even bear to part with such a small thing. Helian Chen smiled embarrassedly. That won't happen. I know that Miss Yuner is very generous. At least she's much more generous than Ah Feng. Zhao Yuner also smiled faintly. She felt that Helian Chen's appearance was a little cute. Well, since you've finished drinking and Yin is back, you can tell me why you're here today, Mu Lianfeng said. Helian Chen patted his head and finally remembered. Indeed, he should get down to business. After being interrupted, he immediately forgot the purpose of his visit today. Thus, he hurriedly gestured for Zhao Yuner to sit down and said to Zhao Yuner, Miss Yuner, please take a seat. Zhao Yuner nodded. After sitting down, she said to Helian Chen, Young Master Helian, what's the matter? Miss Yuner, I drank your tea last time, and felt that it was very good. So I wanted to ask if you're still selling this tea? Zhao Yuner nodded and replied, Of course I'm buying it. Then how much do you have here? How much does young Master Helian want? I'll take as much as you have. Zhao Yuner raised her brows. After staring at Helian Chen, she said to Helian Chen, Young Master Helian, are you drinking it for yourself? If you're drinking it for yourself, you shouldn't need much, right? Zhao Yuner hit the nail on the head. Helian smiled and said, "To be honest, Miss Yuner, I naturally won't drink this tea alone. I just feel that this is a good thing, and want to give it to someone as a gift." Miss Yuner also knows that the rarer something is, the more precious it is. It's precisely those things that others haven't seen before that appear very precious. Chapter 14:14. Young Master Helian, if you drink it alone, I can give you some. But if you give it away everywhere, I'm afraid that I don't have enough tea leaves for you. Hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Helian eyes revealed a trace of disappointment. He lamented to Zhao Yuner, "Miss Yuner, why don't you have more of such good stuff? Can't you get more?" Zhao Yuner also said helplessly, "I want more, but unfortunately I can't. There's nothing I can do." "All right then, Miss Yuner, then I won't give it away. I'll drink it myself." Zhao Yuner nodded. "All right, I can give you 2 caddies. Drink it sparingly. It should be enough to drink for a while. Just 2 caddies. Miss Yuner, can you give me more?" Helian stared at Zhao Yuner with pleading eyes and blinked. Zhao Yuner chuckled. "Young Master Helian, I'll give you 2 caddies. It's already a lot. The other customers are also waiting for it." What she needed to do now was to expand the market. The goods in her hands would definitely not be distributed to just one person. There were so many customers waiting. She could not let them wait forever. "All right then." Helian disappointed expression made one's heart ache. Zhao Yuner curled her lips helplessly. She had no choice. She could only do this now. When the tea leaves planted on her barren mountain could be harvested, the amount of tea leaves produced would naturally be more. "Young Master Helian, I'll go get it for you." Zhao Yuner said and took out 2 caddies. She directly put them in a bag and handed it to Helian. "Young Master Helian, these tea leaves can be placed in a dry place. Don't let them get wet." "Got it, Miss Yuner. There's one more thing I want to discuss with you." Zhao Yuner looked at Helian with some confusion and said, "Young Master Helian, what else do you want?" Miss Yuner, there's still some sour plum soup left in your house. Can I bring some back?" After Helian finished speaking, he suddenly felt that he had drunk enough. If he were to ask Zhao Yuner to bring some back for him, it would seem a little unkind. He hurriedly corrected himself. "Miss Yuner, this is a rare thing. You don't have to give it to me for free. I will pay for it. I don't care how much it costs. Since young Master Helian likes to drink it, I'll pack some for you. You don't have to pay. After all, you are Mu Lianfeng's friend. So if I haggle over such a small matter with you, wouldn't it make me seem too petty?" Helian smiled. "Miss Yuner can't say that. Although I'm Ah Feng's friend, the things you have here are all good and not ordinary. Since Yuner says so, I won't charge you for today's sour plum soup. If you want to drink it in the future, I'll give you 50 copper coins for a pot of sour plum soup." 50 copper coins was not a small amount, but for such a rare thing, the price was not very expensive. If she went out to buy it in the future, it would be the same price. To the rich Helian, 50 copper coins was even less of a problem. Helian nodded and agreed without hesitation. "Then we'll do as Miss Yuner says." "All right then." Zhao Yuner readily entered the kitchen and filled a pot for Helian. After dividing it up, there was only a little bit left in the large pot of sour plum soup. At night, their family could settle it by drinking a small bowl each. Helian, who received the sour plum soup, was very happy. Chapter 14:15. In this kind of weather, the Helian residents had already made some ice to make some iced meals. Not long after Helian took the sour plum soup from Zhao Yuner, he felt a sharp pain in his stomach. Zhao Yuner hurriedly asked, "Young Master Helian, what's wrong?" Mu Lianfeng also glanced at Helian. Seeing that Helian expression was a little distorted, he said, "Ah Chen, is your stomach hurting?" Although this was the truth, Helian thought about how Mu Lianfeng advised him not to drink too much just now, but he said those words. Now that the truth was like this, it was a slap to his face for what he said just now. His face flushed slightly. Helian felt a little embarrassed. For his own face, even if his stomach hurt, Helian still pretended that nothing was wrong. he said to Mu Lianfeng. No, Ah Feng. What are you talking about? I just drank too much and felt uncomfortable. However, Mu Lianfeng did not believe Helian Chen's words. He said with a faint smile, Is that so? Of course. All right, since your stomach doesn't hurt, then it's fine. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Helian Chen. His gaze seemed to have a deeper meaning. Zhao Yun'er also pursed her lips and snickered. She knew that Helian Chen was trying to be brave. It was probably the sour plum soup that he drank into his stomach that caused Helian Chen to have a stomachache. Helian Chen controlled the expression on his face and tried his best to hold it in. Unfortunately, his stomach was still very noisy. That sharp pain caused Helian Chen's forehead to break out in cold sweat. When Mu Lianfeng saw this, he asked Helian Chen with concern, Ah Chen, your face is covered in sweat. Why is it so hot? Helian Chen touched his forehead. There was indeed quite a lot of sweat. He smiled awkwardly at Mu Lianfeng and said, Ah Feng, I'm too hot. This weather is really hot to the point of death. Look, there are so many sweat beads on my forehead because of the heat. Is that so? Of course, the weather is really getting hotter and hotter. Helian Chen muttered to himself. Seeing Helian Chen like this, Mu Lianfeng did not continue to say anything. Helian Chen could not hold it in anymore. He said goodbye to Mu Lianfeng. Ah Feng, it's getting late. I'll go back first. I'll come and see you next time when I have time. Just as Helian Chen wanted to rush out, Zhao Yun'er pulled Helian Chen and said, Chen, it's only been a short while and you're in a hurry to go back. It's not easy for you to come. What do you mean you don't want to stay? Why don't we leave after dinner? That way we can have a good chat. Helian Chen looked at Mu Lianfeng with a bitter face and said to him, Feng, although I want to chat with you for a while longer, I'm afraid that it will be too late after dinner. It won't be convenient for me to go back. Mu Lianfeng ignored Helian Chen's refusal and chuckled. Then don't eat dinner. You can always sit for a while more. Helian Chen furrowed his brows. There was a feeling of suffering that he could not describe. Feng, let's talk about it next time. Don't tell me you have something urgent. After asking, Mu Lianfeng muttered to himself again. I don't think so. If you had something urgent, you wouldn't have come today. Continue to sit for a while more. Don't be in a hurry to leave. Chapter 14:16. Alright, you don't have to say anymore. Stay a little longer. When Helian Chen saw that Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun'er were echoing each other, Helian Chen could not refuse at all. He could only nod and say, Alright. Then I'll stay a little longer before leaving. Although Helian Chen stayed, sitting on the chair was as if he was doing acupuncture. It was abnormally uncomfortable. His stomach was tossing and turning. He simply felt like he was better off dead. However, on the surface, he pretended that nothing had happened. Helian Chen was very tired in his heart. At the same time, he was very regretful. Why did he not listen to Mu Lianfeng's words? If he had listened to Mu Lianfeng, it would definitely not have led to such a situation and end up like this. After his stomach hurt for a while, Helian Chen realized that he wanted to sh*t. What am I going to do now? He could still barely endure the pain, but if he wanted to sh*t, there was no way he could hold it in at all. Helian Chen sat on the stool and rubbed his butt. In order to hold the thing in his stomach back, he could only clamp it into his anus. Mu Lianfeng and Helian Chen chatted intermittently. However, Helian Chen did not listen to Mu Lianfeng's words at all, and answered intermittently. Seeing that Helian Chen was absent-minded, Mu Lianfeng knew that Helian Chen must be feeling very uncomfortable holding it in. He smiled and said to Helian Chen, Ah Chen, you look very uncomfortable. Helian Chen met Mu Lianfeng's probing eyes and replied nervously, Is that so? Of course. I'm fine. Helian Chen was still very stubborn. As soon as he said this, his anus could not hold it in anymore, and let out a loud fart. An unpleasant smell suddenly came from the room, and even the air became silent. Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng hurriedly covered their noses. Helian Chen, on the other hand, seemed very embarrassed. Most of the time they felt embarrassed. Seeing Helian Chen's embarrassed look, Mu Lianfeng could only say, Ah Chen, if your stomach doesn't feel well, you should go to the latrine. Helian Chen's face immediately turned red. He looked at Mu Lianfeng, then looked at Zhao Yuner who was stifling her laughter. He wished he could find a hole to crawl into. Go quickly, it won't be good if you get it in your pants. Mu Lianfeng's tone carried a trace of teasing, causing Helian Chen's face to turn red. He didn't know what to say. However, Mu Lianfeng was right about one thing. If she continued to hold it in, it was likely that she would really defecate into her pants. Although it was a little embarrassing, compared to the pain he was in now, Helian Chen decided that it was better to go and take a dump. If it ended up in his pants, there was absolutely nothing more embarrassing than this. Who knew how Mu Lianfeng would laugh at him when he turned around? After thinking about it, Helian Chen hurriedly nodded and said, "Okay, but where is the latrine?" Zhao Yuner pointed to the back of the room and said, "It's behind. You'll see it when you go there." Helian Chen nodded heavily and rushed out of the room like the wind. It was not until Helian Chen rushed out and disappeared without a trace that Mu Lianfeng muttered, "Yuner, this is the result of suffering because of your pride." Zhao Yuner replied with a smile, "Exactly. Sigh. I already reminded him not to drink too much of this thing. But he just didn't listen." Chapter 14-17. Zhao Yuner's tone was a little teasing and doting. Compared to Helian Chen, Mu Lianfeng was indeed much more obedient. Previously, when she said that he could not drink too much, Mu Lianfeng did not drink. Unlike Helian Chen, he was very greedy like a child. It would be strange if he did not have a stomachache after drinking so many bowls alone. Of course, how can I not listen to Yuner's words? That's why I said you're obedient. Zhao Yuner suddenly thought of something and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Mu Lianfeng, Helian Chen didn't bring toilet paper." Mu Lianfeng was slightly stunned when he heard Zhao Yuner's words. He's a young master from a rich family. He definitely won't be used to using a wooden stick. Mu Lianfeng, you'd better send him some toilet paper. Mu Lianfeng hesitated and confirmed with Zhao Yuner. "Yuner, did I send him?" "Yes, if not you, who else would send him? Am I supposed to do it?" She was a woman, and Helian Chen was a man. It was definitely inappropriate for her to send him toilet paper. Mu Lianfeng suddenly remembered that this scene was very familiar. At that time, it was Zhao Yuner who sent him a finger, which made it very awkward. Thinking about it again, Zhao Yuner was a woman. If she really sent it to Helian Chen and saw something that he should not have seen, the one who would be the most upset should be him. Mu Lianfeng hurriedly said, "Okay, Yuner, I'll send him some toilet paper." "Okay." Zhao Yuner responded. Helian Chen, who was in the latrine, was very sore from pooping. Fortunately, he took off his pants in time. If he was a step later, it would probably be in his pants. However, Mu Lianfeng, who was in pain for a moment, couldn't take it anymore when he saw the environment inside the latrine. Compared to his home, this was like heaven and earth. If it wasn't for the other discomfort, he definitely wouldn't be able to go to the toilet in this environment. Other than the bad environment, it was also very smelly. Helian Chen could only pinch his nose to prevent himself from smelling this smell. Helian Chen thought about how Mu Lianfeng, a young master, also had to use the toilet in this kind of environment every day. He couldn't help but sympathize with Mu Lianfeng. In order to be with Zhao Yuner, Mu Lianfeng had really given up a lot. He could even live such a bitter life, and still felt happy every day. Perhaps everyone had their own aspirations, and everyone had their own preferred way of life. What kind of life Mu Lianfeng wanted was naturally not something she could decide. Helian Chen thought as he squatted in the pit. After pulling out the thing in his stomach, he didn't feel that much pain. He felt a lot more comfortable, and his body suddenly relaxed a lot. After a while, Mu Lianfeng came to the latrine and called out to Helian Chen. Helian Chen replied, "Afon, why did you call me? You forgot to bring toilet paper. I brought some over for you." Mu Lianfeng explained. When Mu Lianfeng said this, Helian Chen realized that he really didn't bring toilet paper. However, it wasn't that he forgot to bring toilet paper, but that he didn't have the habit of bringing toilet paper. These things were all prepared in his own latrine. When he went to the toilet, there was toilet paper inside, so he didn't have to specially bring it. He glanced at Zhao Yuner's latrine. It was so simple, so it was normal that there was no toilet paper inside. Seeing Mu Lianfeng in front of him, Helianchen called out to Mu Lianfeng, "Afeng, don't open the door. Just pass it to me like this." Chapter 14:18. When Mu Lianfeng saw Helianchen's outstretched hand, the corners of his lips curled up slightly. He knew that Helianchen was shy. He handed the paper in his hand to Helianchen and did not forget to tease him. "Ah Chun, we grew up together and are very familiar with each other's bodies. Don't tell me you're still shy in front of me and afraid that I'll see your butt?" When Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, Helianchen's face reddened, and he muttered to Mu Lianfeng, "Afeng, you can't compare like this. The past is the past, and now is the present. We were still young in the past. Now that we're so old, don't you feel awkward and uncomfortable when you see each other's butts? We're two grown men." "Haha, actually you can't say that. Chun, I know you're shy. Why is it that the way you speak is becoming more and more annoying?" Helianchen muttered. Did he have to let him see his butt? Helianchen shivered unconsciously when he thought about it. He felt strange in his heart. "Haha, then I'll leave first." Mu Lianfeng chuckled and left the latrine pit. The smell beside the latrine pit was a little strong and really made people feel uncomfortable. Helianchen pinched his nose and hurriedly settled the things in his stomach. If he stayed in this latrine pit for too long, his legs would not be able to hold on. After he was done, Helianchen got up from the latrine pit, picked up his pants, and walked out of the latrine pit. He breathed in the fresh air outside and instantly felt much better. Helianchen hurried to Zhao Yiner's front yard. Zhao Yin scooped a ladle of water and washed Helianchen. After washing his hands, Helianchen went to Zhao Yiner's room and sat down on the chair. His body was a little limp, and it was much more comfortable sitting on the chair. Sitting on the chair, Helianchen heaved a few deep breaths. He felt like he had been reborn, and it was extremely refreshing. Zhao Yiner saw Helianchen like this and said with a smile, "Young Master Helian, Mu Lianfeng reminded you for your own good. Look, your stomach is hurting now, right?" Helianchen's face blushed slightly and said, "Yes." Although he did not want to admit it, Helianchen had to admit it. He's a heartless person. No matter what others say, he won't listen. Mu Lianfeng sighed. Helianchen glared at Mu Lianfeng. "Afeng, don't talk to me. Really?" Mu Lianfeng knew that Helianchen was embarrassed, so he stopped talking. Helianchen rested for a while and did not stay at Zhao Yiner's house to eat. Instead, he went back. Watching Helianchen leave, Mu Lianfeng smiled and joked with Zhao Yiner. "Yiner, you contributed a lot to him being like this today." Zhao Yiner knew that Mu Lianfeng was referring to the matter of her feeding Helianchen sour plum soup. So she smiled and replied, "That's right. He thinks that you're stingy. For the sake of your reputation, I have to help you explain it clearly. If he doesn't listen to this normal explanation, he will naturally know the result. He won't think that you're really stingy, right?" Mu Lianfeng realized that he could not win against Zhao Yiner, so he could only nod and say, "Yes, yes, yes. Yiner, you're right. Next time, you don't have to say too much if others don't like to hear it. Instead, you won't end up well in the end. You can only let them suffer and they'll know." Chapter 14:19. Zhao Yin suddenly thought of what Helianchen said just now. Although he didn't say it directly, he was complaining that her latrine was too broken and dirty. Zhao Yin could only make do with this current latrine for a while. Although she was indeed not used to using a dirty latrine, she didn't need to repair it. However, there was no need to repair the latrine pit now. After all, the latrine pit here wouldn't take long. Once her new house was built, she would have to fix the latrine in her house properly. After all, after this place was built, she would feel better if she could poop. If it was too dirty, she would feel abnormally uncomfortable every time she went to the toilet. As long as she could avoid going to the toilet, she wouldn't hold it in. Unfortunately, there was no flush toilet in this era. Basically, they used a large vat with 2 planks on it. How great would it be if I could get a flush toilet for my living room? Zhao Yiner thought about it and wondered if she could design one. There were actually quite a lot of skilled craftsmen in this era. As long as she designed a flush toilet, it wouldn't be difficult for them to make a flush toilet according to the discovery of firing ceramics. However, this flush toilet didn't seem to be easy to design. She had seen the principle and design drawings before, but it had been too long, and she had forgotten a little. Zhao Yin patted her head and tried hard to recall. Seeing that Zhao Yin was thinking about something, Mu Lianfeng asked curiously, Yin, what are you thinking about? Zhao Yin waved her hand and explained, nothing big. I'm just thinking about something. If I can make it, we'll be comfortable in the latrine in the future. If the feces could be discharged in time, there wouldn't be any smell in the latrine. After hearing Zhao Yin's words, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but be curious about what Zhao Yin was thinking about. Zhao Yin had a lot of ideas, many of which she had never heard of before. This time, she might be able to come up with something novel again. Let me try, Zhao Yin said. She went to the table, took a pen and paper, and started to write and draw. Mu Lianfeng stood aside and didn't disturb Zhao Yin. She quietly watched Zhao Yin draw something. However, when she saw the thing on the paper in front of Zhao Yin, Mu Lianfeng couldn't understand it. She had never heard of what Zhao Yin drew, let alone recognize it. Moreover, this thing had a strange shape and was very strange. Zhao Yin frowned and pondered as she drew, as if she was recalling something. She couldn't stop muttering, No, this isn't right, this isn't right. Could it be like this? It doesn't seem right. What's the problem? Zhao Yin supported her chin with her hand and stared at the drawing paper in a daze. Mu Lianfeng quietly accompanied Zhao Yin and didn't speak. She was afraid that she would disturb Zhao Yin after she spoke. Seeing Zhao Yin in deep thought, that serious look of thinking was very cute. Zhao Yin suddenly thought of something and began to draw on the drawing paper again. After a while, a strange thing was drawn on the drawing paper, and there was a detailed composition. Mu Lianfeng glanced at it and asked, Yin, what are you drawing? A toilet bowl. A toilet bowl. Mu Lianfeng was very confused. He had never heard of this term. What's the use of it? Chapter 1420. Mu Lianfeng was obviously stunned, as if he still did not understand what Zhao Yin meant. Zhao Yin could only patiently explain. The flush toilet was indeed a great invention of the 21st century. In ancient times, even emperors could not enjoy it. After listening to Zhao Yin's explanation, Mu Lianfeng was very surprised that there was such a thing in the world. He had not seen it with his own eyes, so he could not imagine what it looked like. However, seeing Zhao Yin's excited look, it seemed like she was looking forward to it. Go back and ask the shop in town. Since porcelain can be made, this thing should be able to be made. Yes. Go and try it. Mu Lianfeng replied. Zhao Yin touched her chin and fell silent. There was a flush toilet, but no running water. In this era, it would be difficult to get running water. Fortunately, even if there was no running water, they could just get a bucket in the toilet and scoop some water to flush it. Okay, I'll go to Yang City in 2 days if I have time. Okay. In the next few days, nothing troublesome happened. The days were very comfortable, and Mu Lianfeng also brought good news. The emperor had issued an edict to cancel Mu Lianfeng and Morong Shuang's engagement. At least in terms of marriage, the two of them did not have to worry anymore. The weather was getting hotter, and Zhao Yin's new clothes were almost ready. That afternoon, after she was done with her work, she cooked and sat in front of the bed. After asking Mulan for advice, she fumbled around and made 2 big underpants. Mu Lianfeng sat at the table and taught Dao how to read. Zhao Yin handed the big underpants to Mu Lianfeng and said to Mu Lianfeng, Here, Mu Lianfeng, this underpants is for you. You can wear it when it's really hot. Mu Lianfeng took it. He had never seen this thing made by Zhao Yin before. With a puzzled expression, she asked Zhao Yin, Yin, can this thing be worn? Of course you can. How cool was that? After taking a shower at night, he could just wear this pair of underwear. It's fine for you men to show your upper bodies, unlike us women. Mu Lianfeng was amused by Zhao Yin. What did he mean by it was fine to show his upper body? They were usually very conservative, and had never seen a man with his upper body exposed. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was laughing without explaining why he was laughing, Zhao Yin glared at Mu Lianfeng and asked, What are you laughing at? What's so funny? Yuner, it's nothing. If you make it for me personally, I will naturally wear it. But, when the time comes, will I sleep in a room alone? Or will I sleep with you? At first, Zhao Yuner didn't understand what Mu Lianfeng meant by asking this question. After she reacted, she understood. Mu Lianfeng was hinting that if he only wore a pair of underwear and didn't wear any clothes on his upper body, she would see it. Zhao Yuner blushed slightly. Before we get married, you will naturally have a room to yourself, and Daodu and I will share a room. Mu Lianfeng regretted asking. If he didn't ask and shamelessly slept with Zhao Yuner, it would be quite good. Mother, father has new clothes. Does Daodu have any? Daodu put down his pen and looked at Zhao Yuner expectantly. Of course. Others may not have any, but Daodu will definitely have some. Chapter 14:21. But Daodu's clothes aren't ready yet. You'll have to wait a few days. It's okay, mother. As long as Daodu has it, it's fine. Daodu is so obedient. The reason why Daodu's clothes had to wait a few days was because Zhao Yun wasn't the one making them herself. She didn't dare to compliment her handiwork. Mu Lianfeng's underwear was very simple and rough, so it was okay to wear it. Daodu's clothes, on the other hand, had to be sewn properly. Zhao Yuner didn't trouble Liang Jinxiao, so Mulan took on this task. Mulan's needlework was good, so she thought that Daodu's new clothes would be very good. Mu Lianfeng was very curious about the underwear made by Zhao Yuner, so he held it in his hands and studied it. When Zhao Yuner saw this, she quickly snatched the underwear back from Mu Lianfeng's hands. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yuner with some confusion. Yuner, isn't this for me? Yes, it's for you. But why are you staring at it like that? Because I think that Yuner's clothes are very novel. I've never seen it before, so I'm curious. The weather isn't hot yet. I'll help you keep it first. When it gets hot, I'll take it out for you to wear. With that, Zhao Yuner quickly stuffed the 2 pairs of underwear into the cabinet. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yuner's reaction and felt puzzled, but at the same time, he couldn't help but laugh. When he saw Zhao Yuner's red cheeks, Mu Lianfeng seemed to understand something. Is Zhao Yuner shy? Is it because of the underwear? Just as Zhao Yuner was feeling embarrassed, Li Chuiying's voice suddenly came from outside. Yuner girl, Zhao Yuner was puzzled. Why did Li Chuiying come looking for her? The two of them had nothing to do with each other, and she had never seen Li Chuiying come over before. However, in Zhao Yuner's impression, wherever Li Chuiying appeared, nothing good would happen. She wondered if he was here to cause trouble again. Therefore, when Zhao Yuner went out, she frowned and looked a little unhappy. When she arrived in front of Li Chuiying, she said unhappily to Li Chuiying, "Second aunt, why did you come looking for me today?" Zhao Yuner's attitude wasn't very good, but Li Chuiying wasn't angry. Instead, he smiled at Zhao Yuner and said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner girl, second aunt didn't come looking for you for anything important. I just wanted to give you something." As Li Chuiying spoke, he handed over a vegetable basket in his hand. Zhao Yuner's face was full of confusion. She didn't know what Li Chuiying meant. There were 10 eggs in the basket. "Second aunt, what are you doing?" "Yuner girl, these 10 eggs are for you. You and your mother have helped our family a lot. We don't have anything good, so we just sent a few eggs over," Li Chuiying explained. Zhao Yuner was even more shocked. Did she hear wrongly? Did these words come out of Li Chuiying's mouth? If it had come out of someone else's mouth, she would have believed it. However, when it came out of Li Chuiying's mouth, she found it a little hard to believe. Looking at Li Chuiying in front of her, he didn't have his usual arrogance. Instead, she felt a sense of familiarity. Zhao Yuner suddenly felt that the world had changed. Li Chuiying was usually such a disgusting person, but he could change his personality and become a good person. Chapter 14:22. Zhao Yuner was stunned for a while before she asked in disbelief, "Auntie, are you sure? Are you really giving this to me?" Li Chuiying thought that Zhao Yuner was making a fuss over nothing. "Of course. Who else would I give it to if not you?" "No. Auntie, you." Li Chuiying seemed to have guessed what Zhao Yuner was thinking and said apologetically, "Hey Yuner, I didn't do well in the past. I went overboard with some things. I won't do it again in the future. Now I know in my heart that whoever is good to me, of course, I will be good to that person in the future. You're a good child. I let you down in the past. Take these 10 eggs as second aunt's compensation to you. It's a pity that I don't have anything good at home, so I can only give you these. Zhao Yuner was still in shock and couldn't react. Was this a joke? How did the world change so suddenly? Li Chuiying's sudden realization caught her off guard. Was he faking it? Looking at Li Chuiying's sincere gaze, it didn't seem like he was faking it. This is really strange. All right, Yuner, Auntie still has work to do when I get back. Just accept the gift. With that, Li Chuiying turned and left. She looked at Li Chuiying's back as he left, and then looked at the eggs in her hand. She was still in a daze, and felt like she was in a dream. Yuner, what's wrong? Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yuner's dazed expression, and thought that something had happened. He also saw Li Chuiying coming over. Usually, Li Chuiying liked to cause trouble when he came over. Could it be that he said something that upset Zhao Yuner? No. Nothing. Zhao Yuner forced a smile and replied with a smile. What did Auntie Li do? No. Nothing. Then what are you? Mu Lianfeng. I feel that my second aunt has suddenly changed. Changed? Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yuner in confusion. Yes. What do you think can make a person's temperament change so drastically? Zhao Yuner touched her chin and muttered. Mu Lianfeng pondered for a while and said to Zhao Yuner, generally speaking, when a person's temperament changes drastically, something must have happened. It could be some difficulties or something. Difficulties? Zhao Yuner muttered a sentence in her mouth. What kind of difficulties did her second aunt encounter these days? Thinking about it, he didn't hear anything big happened. Otherwise he would definitely know. After all, they were so far away from each other. How could she not know what was going on in old Zhao's house? Except for the incident where Li Chuiying fell into the manure pit. Could it be that Li Chuiying's temperament changed drastically because of this? At this thought, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but want to laugh. This was really a difficult situation. If Li Chuiying's temperament really changed drastically because of this, it would be quite funny. This was the first time she had heard of it. It was unheard of. If someone was cured because of this, would he just stuff that person into the manure pit when he saw that they were incurable? Seeing Zhao Yuner clutching her stomach and laughing, Mu Lianfeng was puzzled. Wasn't she in a daze just now? Why did she suddenly start laughing? What was so funny? He didn't say anything. Chapter 1423. I was thinking that everyone's difficulties and hardships are different. My second aunt. Haha. Her hardships are a little funny, but it's a good thing that people can change. Old Zhao's family finally has one less troublemaker. Mu Lianfeng was silent for a moment. Then the corners of his mouth twitched, and he chuckled softly. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng looked at each other. Just as they were about to return to the kitchen and put down the eggs, they saw another figure walking towards them. It was Zhao Pinger. Li Chuiying had just left, and now Zhao Pinger was behind her. Zhao Yuner's first reaction was to wonder if Zhao Pinger had suddenly changed like Li Chuiying. Sister Ping, how come you have time to come here today? What's the matter? Zhao Yuner asked indifferently. Zhao Pinger bit her lower lip. If she wasn't forced to, why would she come to Zhao Yuner and pay attention to Zhao Yuner's mood? Seeing Zhao Yuner's stiff face, Zhao Pinger forced a smile and said, Sister Yuner, I came here because I need you to do me a favor. Zhao Yuner chuckled. Me? Help. Sister Pinger, what's the matter that you can't do on your own? Why do you need me to come over and help? Zhao Pinger nodded heavily. That's right, Sister Yuner. Other than you, no one else can help me. Haha. Zhao Yuner didn't reply and only laughed dryly. Sister Yuner, can you help me? Seeing Zhao Pinger's expectant gaze, Zhao Yuner coldly refused. Help you? Why should I help you? Do I have an obligation to help you? After being rebuked by Zhao Yuner, Zhao Pinger's face turned ugly. She had already spoken so nicely to Zhao Yuner. Why wouldn't Zhao Yuner help her? After all, she was her biological sister, right? Zhao Yuner, you can't not help me. Zhao Pinger couldn't help but blurt out. Why can't we help? Ping this is the first time I've heard of someone asking for help in such a tone. Even if I don't help you, what can you do about it? Zhao Ping's eyes reddened. Indeed, she couldn't do anything to Zhao Yun'er. But if Zhao Yun'er didn't help her, then she would be finished. Sister Yun'er, I came here personally to beg you. Zhao Ping'er hid the displeasure on her face and said to Zhao Yun'er with an ugly smile. Zhao Yun'er mercilessly retorted, Sister Ping'er, what are you saying? You came here to beg me for help. If you didn't come here personally, did you want someone else to do it for you? Sister Yun'er. Zhao Ping'er was speechless for a moment. If it were any other time, she would have turned around and left already. Why would she be annoyed in front of Zhao Yun'er? Now that she was forced into a corner, she swallowed her anger and continued. Sister Yun'er, please help me. I won't help you. Sister Yun'er, you haven't heard what I said. It's not difficult for you to help me. Sister Yun'er, if you don't help me, then I'm finished. For the sake of us sisters, you can't let me die, right? Zhao Yun'er frowned. If she didn't help Zhao Ping'er, would Zhao Ping'er die? It shouldn't be that serious, right? Chapter 1424. At the thought of this, Zhao Ping'er's heart felt a little stifled. She had thought that she was doing well, and that business would slowly improve after a few more days. However, she had imagined the reality to be too perfect, and there were still not many people coming. She only earned a few dozen copper coins a day. She did not know when she would be able to recover the money she had invested. She was not very anxious, but Mu Chunfang was very anxious. Every day, she would come back and nag at him. If she did not earn much money, she would be scolded badly. If this continued, she did not know what would happen. In addition, Qing Yuan had been good to her. But in the past 2 days, his attitude had gradually cooled and he ignored her. In addition, Ma Xiaofeng had urged her to come and beg Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Ping'er had no choice but to come over. Zhao Yun'er looked at Zhao Ping'er. She did not know where Zhao Ping'er got the nerve to say such things. Sister Ping'er, this is my way of earning money. Who knows when I will set up a stall to sell breakfast again? If I teach you, what should I do in the future? Zhao Ping'er frowned and said, Sister Yun'er, you have many ways to earn money. You will definitely not rely on selling breakfast to earn money in the future. Zhao Yun'er snorted softly. How do you know that I won't? Of course not, Sister Yun'er. You will earn big money in the future. You will definitely not be interested in this small amount of money. Haha. Even if that is the case, why should I teach you my way of earning money? Because we are blood-related sisters. We came from the same mother's womb. Blood-related siblings should help each other. Sister Ping, or even blood-related siblings should settle accounts clearly. Who said that we should help each other? If there is no benefit at all, I will not do this kind of business. Zhao Yun'er rubbed her chin as she spoke. Actually, Zhao Ping'er was right. She would not set up a breakfast stall again. Waking up early every day was too tiring. Most importantly, if he was busy with these things, he wouldn't have so much time to accompany Mu Lianfeng and Daodu. Unless they couldn't survive, some of them neglected their children in order to earn money. Daodu was at the age where he needed someone to accompany him, and parents needed to stay by his side. It was more beneficial for the child's growth. In addition, now that she had found a more profitable and easier way to earn money, there was no need for her to go out and make a fuss. Even if she didn't need to set up a stall to make money, Zhao Yun'er still didn't want to let Zhao Ping'er take advantage of her. After listening to Zhao Yun'er's words, Zhao Ping'er was silent for a moment. She understood what Zhao Yun'er meant. Yun'er, how about this? Teach me the recipe. If I make money, I'll give you 2 cents. That way, you can earn more. That's why you don't have to work. It's a free trip. You don't lose anything. As Zhao Ping'er spoke, she stared at Zhao Yun'er expectantly. Zhao Yun'er thought about it. She could sit at home and take money for free while Zhao Ping'er and the others worked hard. That was fine. However, Zhao Yun'er still shook her head. Sister Ping'er, I'll only get 2 cents? Isn't that too little? Yun'er, it's not little. I'll pay for the costs and do the work. I'll give you 2 cents of the net profits. Xiaofeng and I still have to split the rest. Zhao Ping'er muttered. Zhao Yun'er curled her lips. That's too little. Then what do you want? How much do you want? Can I give you 30%? Zhao Yin'er shook her head. Chapter 1425. Zhao Yin'er was too greedy. How much did she want? Little sister Yin'er, how about I give you 40%? I've already split the remaining 60% with Xiaofeng. Each of us only gets 30%, which is less than you. You can't ask for too much, right? Zhao Yin'er smiled and said, How much do you think I want? You don't have to beg me. I'm not forcing you. This sentence made Zhao Ping unable to argue. Indeed, Zhao Yin'er didn't ask her to share the profits. She was the one who suggested it. At the same time, she was still begging her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to run her stall in the future. Little sister Yin'er, then tell me how much do you want? If I think it's okay, I'll naturally agree. Seeing that Zhao Ping'er had spoken, Zhao Yin'er didn't stand on ceremony. If you really want me to help you, we're in a cooperative relationship. I'll provide the prescription, and you'll do the work. With my prescription, you can only do business. So I'll get a little more. I'll get 60%, and you'll get 40%. If you think it's okay, I'll teach you now. If not, then do as you please. When she heard that Zhao Yin'er wanted 60%, and she only got 40%, Zhao Ping immediately exploded. Zhao Yin'er, you're too black-hearted. You get 60%, and I only get 40%. After I split it with Xiaofeng, that means I only get 20%. How much more money can I make? Isn't it obvious that I'm at a disadvantage? Zhao Ping felt that she would only agree to this kind of obvious disadvantage unless she was stupid. She had invested in everything in this stall. Why should she get so little? She had worked so hard. Wouldn't she be helping Zhao Yin earn all the money? Other than coming up with a prescription, Zhao Yin'er just sat at home and counted the money. There was simply no better deal than this. Zhao Yin'er chuckled and calculated the accounts with Zhao Ping'er. Sister Ping'er, when you say that we're at a disadvantage, we really aren't at a disadvantage. I make breakfast and the customers like it. With so many people coming, business is good. According to my previous business, I earn 1 or 2 taels of silver a day. Even if you only get 20%, that's at least 200 copper coins a day. That's 6 taels of silver a month. Isn't that a lot? If he had bought a better one, it would have cost more than that. Whether it's worth it or not, you have to weigh it in your heart. After listening to Zhao Yin'er's calculations, Zhao Ping'er understood that she could earn a lot more if she cooperated with Zhao Yin'er. 30 to 40 copper coins a day was simply impossible. But you can't get 60%. How about we split it 50-50? Zhao Ping'er couldn't bear to part with the money, and continued to discuss with Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Yin'er's face suddenly darkened. Sister Ping'er, since you don't want to cooperate, then forget it. Let's go. I still have things to do. Seeing that Zhao Yin'er didn't relent, Zhao Ping'er's chest was blocked by a lump of anger. Then I'll go and discuss with Xiao Feng first, and ask her what she thinks. Zhao Ping'er made a concession and said to Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Yin'er nodded. Okay. You go and ask. Zhao Ping'er said and trotted in the direction of Ma Xiaofeng's house. Zhao Yin'er turned around, and happened to meet Mu Lianfeng's eyes. Seeing Mu Lianfeng staring at her, Zhao Yin'er asked, Why are you looking at me? Mu Lianfeng shook his head. Nothing. I just feel that Yin'er, it seems that no one can take advantage of you. Chapter 1426. For example, this time, Zhao Ping'er wanted to ask her for help. It wasn't that she didn't agree, but she had to take some of Zhao Ping'er's money. She didn't do anything and took 60% of it. Naturally, it was enough to make Zhao Ping'er feel the pinch. Looking at Zhao Ping'er's pained expression, it was obvious. However, Mu Lianfeng suddenly revealed a strange smile. Zhao Yin'er's heart trembled violently. She felt that Mu Lianfeng was up to no good. Sure enough, Mu Lianfeng suddenly put his arm around Zhao Yin'er's waist and kissed Zhao Yin'er on the lips. Zhao Yin'er was stunned. She saw Mu Lianfeng quickly kiss her on the lips. After the kiss, he let go of her, as if he was savoring the aftertaste. He said with a teasing tone, Yin'er, did I take advantage of you now? Will you ask for it back with double the price? Zhao Yin'er blushed. When she met Mu Lianfeng's calculating eyes, She glared at Mu Lianfeng. This guy dream on. I won't. Why? Mu Lianfeng asked teasingly. I'll be at a disadvantage if I ask for it back. However, you made a move on me in broad daylight. I still have to punish you properly. How will I punish you? Tonight you'll sleep on the floor alone. Don't get on my bed. When Mu Lianfeng heard this, his expression changed slightly. He started to regret it. Now his wife had suffered a setback. His plan didn't work out. Instead, he was kicked off the bed by Zhao Yin'er. Originally, Mu Lianfeng wanted to coax Zhao Yin'er, but when he met Zhao Yin'er's stubborn little face, he knew that Zhao Yin'er was serious. She could only nod and agree with Zhao Yin'er. Okay, Yin'er, I'll sleep under the bed tonight. On the other hand, Zhao Ping'er ran to Ma Xiaofeng's house. Ma Xiaofeng was still serving Qian Chuanxiu. This time, Qian Chuanxiu's vitality was greatly damaged, much more seriously than Zhao Wenshui's. After a few days of recuperation and application of ointment, Zhao Wenshui's injury on his buttocks had improved a lot. If he was careful, he could even get out of bed and move around. Qian Chuanxiu was not as lucky as Zhao Wenshui. After a few days of recuperation, not only did his condition not improve, it even worsened. The buttocks that had been spanked began to swell, and even began to fester. There were signs of ulceration. Qian Chuanxiu, on the other hand, was lying on the bed, looking half dead. Ma Xiaofeng was also very anxious these days. No matter what, Qian Chuanxiu was her mother. Other than her younger brother, Qian Chuanxiu was her only family. She was not married yet, so nothing could happen to Qian Chuanxiu. But now, she had no money and no other way to cure Qian Chuanxiu. Last time, all the money at home was used to sell a bottle of ointment. Now the family could not take out any money. If it were not for the fact that she and Zhao Ping'er set up a stall together and had an income every day, she was afraid that even eating would be a problem. Mother, let me wipe your buttocks. Ma Xiaofeng brought over a basin of water and placed it in front of Qian Chuanxiu. Qian Chuanxiu responded. She knew how badly her buttocks were injured. Every day, she was in so much pain that she almost could not bear it anymore. If this continued, she was afraid that she would really lose her life. Ma Xiaofeng took a cloth and gently wiped Qian Chuanxiu's buttocks. Seeing that the injury on Qian Chuanxiu's buttocks was getting more and more serious, she could not help but sigh heavily. Xiaofeng, what's wrong? Qian Chuanxiu asked in a weak voice. Chapter 1427. Mother, the injury on your butt is getting more and more serious. What should we do? AI, there's nothing we can do. We don't have any money. We can't hire a doctor or buy medicine. Qian Chuanxiu said helplessly. Mother, this injury can't be delayed any longer. Otherwise, who knows what problems will arise. Xiaofeng, what should we do? There's nothing we can do. Ma Xiaofeng frowned and thought for a moment. They didn't even have anything valuable at home. There was no way they could take out money to treat Qian Chuanxiu's injury. With the severity of Qian Chuanxiu's injury, without a few taels of silver, it couldn't be treated. And a few taels of silver was a huge income. Their family couldn't take it out. Originally, Ma Xiaofeng was looking forward to setting up a stall with Zhao Ping, to earn more money to treat her mother's illness. Now, she knew that she was just thinking too much. The business of the stall didn't improve. They earned 30 to 40 copper coins a day. They could only save a few taels of silver after a few months. This was under the condition that they didn't spend anything. After a few months, she didn't know if her mother's life would be saved. Mother, why don't you sell me? If you sell me, you can get a lot of money to treat your injury. Ma Xiaofeng suddenly had this idea. When Qian Chuanxiu heard it, she immediately reprimanded angrily. Xiaofeng, what are you saying? Even if I die, I won't sell you. Besides being angry, Qian Chuanxiu was also touched. This showed that her daughter loved her dearly and was filial to her. Otherwise, she wouldn't say these words. But mother, if you don't sell me, what will you do? We can't borrow money, and we can't get it. Are we just going to stay here and let your injury worsen? AI, Xiaofeng, mother is fine. Maybe I'll be fine after enduring for a while. Mother, I've endured for these few days. If I recovered, I would have recovered long ago. Xiaofeng, don't think so much. Take one step at a time. If I really can't recover, that's my fate. Seeing Qian Chuanxiu's insistence, Ma Xiaofeng wiped her tears again. She still had to think of another way. At this moment, Zhao Ping'er's voice came from outside. Little Feng, little Feng, little Feng. Ma Xiaofeng put the towel into the basin and wiped the tears from her eyes before leaving the house. She asked Zhao Ping'er, Sister Ping'er, what's wrong? Did something happen? Xiaofeng, didn't you ask me to beg Zhao Yin'er? I did, but Xiaofeng. What's wrong, Sister Ping'er? Xiaofeng. Although she agreed, she said that we'll give her 60% of the money we earn, and we'll get 40%. Hearing Zhao Ping'er's words, Ma Xiaofeng couldn't remain calm. What? Sister Ping, she asked for 60%? Zhao Ping'er sighed and said, yeah, she insisted on 60%. No matter what, she wouldn't agree to give us less. Ma Xiaofeng's expression was uncertain. Without Zhao Yin'er's idea, their business probably wouldn't be good. Although it wasn't a small amount, it was still a lot less than what she expected. Ma Xiaofeng couldn't help but scold. 60%? Isn't she clearly robbing us? We worked ourselves to death and got 40%. But she didn't do anything and got 60%. How is that possible? Ping'er said. Isn't she too much? Chapter 1428. She just doesn't want to help. That's why she's deliberately making things difficult for us. If she really wanted to help, she wouldn't be like this. AI. Then Xiaofeng, should we agree or not? If we agree, we'll give her 60%. If we don't agree, we have no other choice. After hearing Zhao Ping'er's words, Ma Xiaofeng was somewhat unwilling. Sister Ping'er, what can we do? There's no way at all. If we continue like this, we'll only earn a few dozen copper coins a day. I'm afraid that the business won't be good. So Xiaofeng, we have to find her to cooperate. If we cooperate, even if we get 20%, we'll still earn a few hundred copper coins a day. It's much better than what we're earning now. I just want to give most of the money to Zhao Yin'er, so I'm unwilling. Zhao Ping'er muttered. Hearing Zhao Ping'er's words, Ma Xiaofeng's heart was even more tangled. On one hand, she was unwilling to give so much to Zhao Yin'er. On the other hand, she didn't want to only earn a few dozen copper coins a day. Sister Ping'er, why don't we pretend to agree? When we learn how to make breakfast later, we'll regret it. Even if she wants to make trouble, it won't work. Ma Xiaofeng's eyes turned as she calculated. Hearing Ma Xiaofeng's words, Zhao Ping'er nodded excitedly. Xiaofeng, you're right. This idea is really good. We can pretend to agree first, and then regret it later. Why is my brain so inflexible? I didn't think of it. Xiaofeng, you're still the smart one. Ma Xiaofeng curled her lips and snorted coldly in her heart. With her intelligence, how could Zhao Ping'er compare? Sister Ping, then go and agree with her. And Zhao Ping, ran in the direction of Zhao Yin'er's house. Now that she knew that she could earn more money, Ma Xiaofeng was relieved. As long as she saved enough money, her mother's but would be saved. Zhao Ping, eagerly went to Zhao Yin'er's house and called out to Zhao Yin'er. Little Sister Yin'er, Little Sister Yin'er, Sister Ping'er, have you thought it through? Zhao Yin'er saw Zhao Ping, coming over and smiled. Yes, yes. Zhao Ping'er nodded heavily. Little Sister Yin'er, let's do as you say. You get 60%, and we get 40%. Now you can tell me how to make breakfast, right? Zhao Yin'er said unhurriedly. What's the hurry? There's no proof. We have to make a written agreement now. We have to write down our agreement clearly in black and white. Otherwise, what if you go back on your words? Zhao Ping, was stunned when she heard the written agreement. She didn't expect to need a written agreement, but Zhao Yin'er actually brought it up and thought of it. It was easy to go back on your words without a written agreement, but it was difficult to go back on your words after making a written agreement. This Zhao Yin'er was really good at scheming. Seeing Zhao Ping'er's pale face, Zhao Yin'er could almost guess. Zhao Ping, and Ma Xiaofeng probably said that they would go back on their words when they discussed it. Zhao Yin'er had guessed the two people's little schemes clearly. Naturally, he wouldn't give them a chance to succeed. Sister Ping'er, what's the matter? Can't it work? If it doesn't work, then let's forget about it. Zhao Yin'er sneered and said, after all, there's no written agreement. In the future, it won't be clear, and it'll be troublesome if something happens. If you're sincere about cooperating, it won't be difficult to make a written agreement, right? Chapter 1429. I don't know if I'm shameless or not, but Big Sister Ping, if you sign a contract, you definitely won't be shameless in the future. Zhao Ping panicked and didn't know what to do. What's wrong? Big Sister Ping, you don't want to sign a contract. Are you thinking of being shameless in the future? Meeting Zhao Yin'er's eyes, Zhao Ping's expression stiffened. After trying hard to pull the corners of her mouth, she said, Of course not. Zhao Yin'er chuckled and said, That's good. Then Big Sister Ping, let's sign a contract now. Big Sister Yin, there's no need to go through so much trouble, right? Zhao Ping smiled embarrassedly and pulled out an ugly smile. It's not troublesome. It's just writing a few words. Big Sister Yin, seeing Zhao Ping dilly-dallying, Zhao Yin couldn't help but sneer. Big Sister Ping, why are you hesitating? Do you want to sign a contract or not? Say it. If you don't, then let's forget about it. I don't want to have any disputes in the future. Also, Big Sister Ping, you're obviously not sincere. Naturally, there's no need for us to cooperate. Zhao Ping bit her lower lip. She was speechless at Zhao Yin'er's words. This B***TCH was forcing her to sign a contract. Great. Now how could she go back on her word? Should she go and discuss it with Ma Xiaofeng again? Big Sister Ping, have you thought it through? I don't have that much time to waste with you. I'll say the ugly words first. If you don't agree to sign a contract now, don't look for me for this matter later. I don't have the leisure to play with you. Zhao Ping made up her mind and stomped her foot. I'll sign a contract with you. Zhao Ping was forced to do this. If she went to ask Ma Xiaofeng again, Zhao Yin'er wouldn't give her the chance. If she really couldn't go back on her word in the future, she would give Zhao Yin'er 60% of the income. And that was what she earned. The corner of Zhao Yin'er's mouth slightly raised. Seeing that Zhao Ping was tricked by her, she was very satisfied. In the end, when it came to scheming, Zhao Ping was still inexperienced in front of her. After getting Zhao Ping's nod of agreement, Zhao Yin'er turned around and went into the house to take a piece of paper. She dipped the brush in ink and wrote a few lines after a while, agreeing on the future profit sharing. When the brush landed, there were a few lines of delicate and pretty words on the paper. Mu Lianfeng watched from the side. When he saw Zhao Yin'er's handwriting, he sighed in his heart. Yin'er's handwriting was really beautiful and had a unique style. He admired Zhao Yin'er even more. After writing, Zhao Yin'er put away the brush and greeted Zhao Ping. Big Sister Ping, come over and sign your name. Zhao Ping frowned and walked over. When she saw the few lines on the paper, she muttered in her heart. Little Sister Yin'er, how do you know how to write? In addition to being surprised, Zhao Ping was also a little jealous. One had to know that it was very rare to see a woman who could write in the entire village. This was because the people in the village were very poor. Not to mention women, there were very few men who could read. Many families couldn't produce a scholar. Old Zhao's family could be considered relatively wealthy in the village. Otherwise, they wouldn't have produced 2 scholars. Therefore, Old Zhao's family more or less had some status in the village. Why? Don't I know how to read? Zhao Yin'er asked with a smile. Chapter 1430. Zhao Yin'er made up an excuse. I learned it from Fifth Uncle. What's the big deal about it? It's your fault for not learning from Fifth Uncle. You don't even know how good the resources are around you. Zhao Ping glared at Zhao Yin'er. Although she didn't say it, Zhao Ping felt a little upset. Why was she so stupid? Zhao Yin'er knew to learn from her fifth uncle. But why didn't she know? If she could also read, then she would naturally be different from ordinary women. As the saying goes, one's talent comes from being educated. If Qin Yuan knew that she could read, their attitude towards her would naturally be different. However, it was useless for Zhao Ping to be upset now. Some things were missed. Zhao Ping snorted and said to Zhao Yin'er, "So what if you can read? It's not a big deal." Zhao Yin'er curled her lips and didn't argue with Zhao Ping. "Okay, Sister Ping, hurry up and sign your name." Zhao Ping muttered, Zhao Yin, are you doing this on purpose? You know that I can't read. So how do you know how to sign your name? Sister Ping, although I know that you can't read, you can't even write your own name? Zhao Yin was really surprised. After all, illiterates in the 21st century could basically write their own names, even if they couldn't read. It wasn't as if old Zhao's family didn't have a scholar. Could it be that he didn't teach Zhao Ping? Or was it that Zhao Ping was too lazy and didn't learn at all? Sister Ping, since you can't write your own name, then put your thumbprint. With that said, Zhao Yin took the ink pad and handed it to Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping hesitated for a moment, but in the end, she still pressed her thumbprint. Zhao Yin wrote a total of 2 contracts. Both of them signed their names. One was given to Zhao Ping, and the other was kept by herself. After waiting for the contract to be signed, Zhao Ping muttered, Sister Yin, now that the contract is signed, can you teach me how to make breakfast? Zhao Yin chuckled and said, sure. Okay, that's good. Zhao Yin had prepared some meat at home. After cutting half a gene, she began to teach Zhao Ping how to make it. Zhao Ping looked at it and muttered in her heart. It wasn't any different from what Liang Jinxiao taught. Why was the taste different? Sister Ping, what are you thinking about? Look carefully. I don't have that many ingredients to teach you a second time. Zhao Yin saw that Zhao Ping was in a daze, so she quickly reminded her. She didn't know what Zhao Ping was thinking at this time. Zhao Ping came back to her senses. However, she was still thinking in her heart. Since what she did was right, what exactly went wrong? After the stuffing was ready, Zhao Yin took out a packet of something. Zhao Ping couldn't recognize what it was. She saw Zhao Yin made some of this powdery stuff and mixed it into the stuffing, then said to her, Sister Ping, this is enough. Have you learned it? Zhao Ping frowned. She knew the other steps. They were no different from what Liang Jinxiao had taught her. However, she didn't know what was added to the last step. She guessed that the breakfast made by her and Ma Xiaofeng was so different from the breakfast made by Zhao Yin because of this last addition. But what exactly was this thing? Chapter 1431. Zhao Yin's lips curled into a mysterious smile. Zhao Ping had never seen such a thing before. She was afraid that such a thing didn't exist in this era. Zhao Yin didn't add anything else, but fresh mushrooms picked from the mountains. These mushrooms were dried and ground into powder. In this era, there was only table salt and other simple seasonings. There was no such thing as monosodium glutamate or chicken essence to improve the taste. The powder made from these mushrooms had the effect of improving the taste of the ingredients when added to them. Therefore, it had a delicious taste when eaten. In the breakfast made by Zhao Ping and Ma Xiaofeng, it was precisely because it lacked the powder made from the mushrooms that it lacked the freshness. Therefore, the taste of the snacks made couldn't be compared to Zhao Yin's. Zhao Yin naturally wouldn't tell Zhao Ping so easily. Instead, she faintly replied, Sister Ping, this is my secret recipe. In the future, when you sell out, I'll give you more. However, I can't tell you how to make this thing. Zhao Yin had a bottom line when doing things. After all, she didn't trust Zhao Ping. Speaking of which, Ma Xiaofeng was even more suspicious. Ma Xiaofeng was a scheming person who knew if she would provoke Zhao Ping to turn around and not give her a share of the money. Once Zhao Ping went back on her word, she would no longer provide Zhao Ping with the powder made from the mushrooms. Without the fresh taste, Zhao Ping's business would be the same as before. Zhao Ping stared at Zhao Yin. This little b** tch was really scheming. She even deliberately guarded against her. Now that there was a written agreement in Zhao Yin's secret recipe, she had no choice but to give Zhao Yin a share of the money later. Zhao Yin, in any case, I'm your sister. Why are you guarding against me? Zhao Ping complained with dissatisfaction. She had a lot of opinions about Zhao Yin's actions. Zhao Yin faintly said, Sister Ping, it's not that I'm guarding against you, but you have to be careful. Don't do business with Ma Xiaofeng. You'll be cheated by her. Do you really think she's so easy to deal with? From the beginning to the end, it's only profits. Only someone like you would happily bring her along to earn money. Zhao Yin'er's words made Zhao Ping very uncomfortable. She angrily glared at Zhao Yin'er and said, "Don't try to drive a wedge between me and Xiaofeng. I won't listen." "It's fine if you don't listen. I won't be the one to lose. Sister Pinger, you're on your own. I'm too lazy to talk to you. It just so happens that I'm also too lazy to talk to you. Since Sister Ping has learned it now, take the things and leave," Zhao Yin'er said as she handed Zhao Ping a bag of powder made from mushrooms. After Zhao Ping got it, she angrily turned around and left Zhao Yin'er's house. She took the things and turned to Ma Xiaofeng's house. After arriving at Ma Xiaofeng's house, Zhao Ping told Ma Xiaofeng what happened. Ma Xiaofeng's face darkened. She didn't expect Zhao Yin to have so many tricks up her sleeve. All her evil intentions didn't work on Zhao Yin. Now there was no other way. She could only take one step at a time. It was fine as long as she could earn more money than now. "Sister Pinger, let's do this. Let's try the taste and see if it's different after adding this." Zhao Ping nodded heavily. Chapter 1432. Zhao Ping said excitedly to Ma Xiaofeng, "Xiaofeng, it's really delicious." Ma Xiaofeng nodded lightly. He was curious about what kind of seasoning Zhao Yin'er had given him. Why did the taste change so much after adding it? It was simply too magical. He had never seen this kind of thing before, so he probably couldn't buy it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have needed Zhao Yin'er. Seeing that the matter was settled and it was getting late, Zhao Ping said goodbye and went back. She didn't dare to go back to the family Qin too late. These few days, Mu Chuanfang's temper had been very bad. Once she did something wrong, she would be scolded badly. It was terrible. When she went back, she definitely had to help cook dinner. Now that she was married, Zhao Ping realized that a person's temper could really be smoothed out by some things. She definitely didn't dare to throw a tantrum like she did in old Zhao's house. Otherwise, she would be tortured to death by the family Qin. Fortunately, Zhao Ping got the recipe from Zhao Yin'er, so the business was quite good for the next few days. Indeed, just as Zhao Yin'er said, there were at least 200 copper coins a day. Sometimes there were even 400 to 500 copper coins. It was much better than before, when there were only a few dozen copper coins. Although it didn't meet the family Qin's expectations, the family Qin didn't continue to make things difficult for Zhao Ping. After all, earning so much money in a day was already a lot for a country bumpkin. Country bumpkins couldn't earn so much in a day if they did other businesses. At this rate, they could buy 1 mu of land in a month. In a year, the family Qin could buy at least 10 mu of land. In a few years, they could become the landlords of the village. They would go from being poor farmers to being rich. After a few more days like this, Zhao Ping earned some spare money and couldn't help but want to go to Yang City to buy some clothes. Unfortunately, a piece of clothing was not cheap. Every day, Zhao Ping had to hand over all the money she earned to Mu Chunfang. She could only secretly keep a few copper coins. He thought that he would be able to save quite a bit of money over time. However, it would take a lot of time for her to save up enough money to buy a dress. She didn't have the money to buy clothes, but she had enough to buy snacks. Those sweets, peanuts, and melon seeds were Zhao Ping's favorites. Moreover, it wasn't very expensive, so he didn't need to buy too much. He just needed to weigh it casually to satisfy his appetite. After setting up the stall, Zhao Ping tugged at Ma Xiaofeng and said, "Xiaofeng, we worked so hard to earn money. Why don't we buy some snacks to eat? You worked so hard, so you should reward yourself." Ma Xiaofeng frowned and declined. "Ping, Jie, if you want to buy it, then buy it. I won't buy it." Zhao Ping looked at Ma Xiaofeng in confusion and said, "Why, Xiaofeng? These snacks aren't expensive. Buy some to satisfy your cravings." Ma Xiaofeng shook her head. "Ping, Jie, I'm not like you. I still need to save my money to treat my mother's illness." "Xiaofeng, what happened to your mother? Is your mother okay?" Zhao Ping asked worriedly. "I don't know if my mother is okay or not, but my mother's injuries are quite serious. Not only did the wound on her but not recover, it became more serious. I think the village's doctor won't be able to treat her. I have to find a doctor in Yang City to treat her. However, The doctor in Yong City will definitely be very expensive, so I have to save more money and use this money to hire a doctor to treat my mother's illness. Chapter 1433. Xiaofeng. Alright, then you save it well. But how much will it cost? You've already saved 2 taels of silver. Ma Xiaofeng shook her head and said, I don't know how much silver it will cost, but 5 or 6 taels of silver should be enough. 5 or 6 taels. Then I'll have to save it for a few days. Ma Xiaofeng sighed and said, Yes, I still have to wait. I don't know if my mother's injury can hold on. Zhao Ping'er patted Ma Xiaofeng's shoulder and comforted her. Xiaofeng, don't worry, your mother will be fine. And I won't buy snacks with the money I have. I'll save some for you. When the time comes, you can use it to treat your mother's illness. Ma Xiaofeng looked at Zhao Ping'er emotionally and said to Zhao Ping'er, Sister Ping'er, you're so good to me. Zhao Ping'er chuckled. Xiaofeng, you're my good friend. Of course I'm good to you. Otherwise, who else can I be good to? Just as they were about to go back, Zhao Ping'er suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. She covered her mouth as if she wanted to vomit. Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly asked, Sister Ping'er, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling uncomfortable? Zhao Ping'er vomited for a while before she recovered. She frowned and replied, I don't know what's wrong. I just feel a little uncomfortable these days. I always feel like vomiting, especially in the morning. Vomiting? Sister Ping'er, are you sick? Do you want to see a doctor? It's very expensive to see a doctor. If you're sick, won't it cost a lot of money? Sister Ping'er, take a look first. Let's go to the clinic. The doctor's fee is only 10 copper coins. The expensive thing is the medicine. Take a look first and don't buy any medicine. Zhao Ping'er nodded and felt that it was fine. Alright, Xiaofeng, let's go to the clinic to have a look later. If there is any illness, we can know in time. It won't take too long. That's right, Sister Ping'er. Your health is more important, Ma Xiaofeng said. She didn't really care about Zhao Ping'er, but she was now doing business with Zhao Ping'er. Without Zhao Ping'er, she couldn't make so much money in a day. For her own sake, she couldn't let anything happen to Zhao Ping'er. The two of them went to the clinic together. There were not many people at this time, so they quickly lined up and saw the doctor. The doctor glanced at Zhao Ping'er and asked faintly, What's wrong with you? Where do you feel uncomfortable? Doctor, I've been feeling like vomiting for the past few days. I don't know what's wrong. Want to vomit? Yes, especially in the morning. The doctor's eyes turned, and he seemed to think of something. He hurriedly said, Give me your hand. I'll take your pulse. Oh. Zhao Ping'er responded and handed her hand over. After taking her pulse, the doctor took back his hand and smiled at Zhao Ping'er. Miss, congratulations. Zhao Ping'er looked at the doctor in confusion and asked, Doctor, why are you congratulating me? I'm not feeling well, and you're congratulating me. Do you want to see me feel uncomfortable? The doctor smiled and waved his hand. Miss, you misunderstood. There's nothing wrong with your body. The reason why you feel like vomiting is that you're pregnant. Hearing that she was pregnant, Zhao Ping'er was stunned. She had thought of many possibilities, but she didn't expect that she would be pregnant. Chapter 1434. Of course, Mississippi. Why would I lie to you? Your pulse is pregnant. I've been treating patients for so many years. How could I not know? After getting the doctor's answer, Zhao Ping'er was delighted. She smiled brightly and said to Ma Xiaofeng, Xiaofeng, did you hear that? The doctor said that I'm pregnant. Like Zhao Ping'er, Ma Xiaofeng was stunned at first. When she came back to her senses, she smiled and said to Zhao Ping'er, Sister Ping'er, congratulations. You're pregnant after being married for so long. When your husband's family finds out, they'll be overjoyed. Zhao Ping'er looked proud. Indeed, as Ma Xiaofeng said, a woman's status in her husband's family would be high when she was pregnant and gave birth to a child. Generally, women who couldn't give birth would be disliked by their husband's family. Xiaofeng, let's go back quickly. I'll tell my parents-in-law and brother Xian the good news. They'll be very happy when they hear it. Ma Xiaofeng responded. Okay, let's go back now. Zhao Ping sent Ma Xiaofeng to Shuilan village first. She thought that since she was already there, she might as well tell Liang Jinxiao the good news. She didn't go to old Zhao's house much these days, because of what Liang Jinxiao said last time. Usually, she didn't have much to do, but this time she was pregnant. If she told Liang Jinxiao about it, maybe Liang Jinxiao would feel sorry for her and send her more good food. After all, her mother still cared about her. With this thought, Zhao Ping happily went to old Zhao's house. Seeing Zhao Ping come over, Feng Zhengxia said sarcastically, "Ping, you're back. Do you have something important to say this time? Or is your business doing well, and you're sending money to your mother?" Zhao Ping glanced at Feng Zhengxia angrily. She ignored Feng Zhengxia and went straight into the room of the third branch. "Mother, mother," Zhao Ping called out a few times. After hearing Zhao Ping's voice, Liang Jinxiao looked in the direction of the door. Zhao Ping had already entered the room. Liang Jinxiao asked, "Ping, what's the matter? Why are you here again?" Zhao Ping thought that Liang Jinxiao. "You lass, it's not that mother isn't happy to see you. Isn't it because I'm afraid that others will gossip?" "Mother, I'm here this time because I have something important to tell you." Liang Jinxiao tugged at Zhao Ping's hand and gestured for Zhao Ping to sit down. "Okay, tell me what you have to say. I'll listen." "Mother, I'm pregnant." "What?" Liang Jinxiao opened her mouth in surprise. She looked at Zhao Ping with uncertainty. "Mother, I said I'm pregnant. I went to see the doctor today. The doctor said I'm pregnant." Zhao Ping explained. Liang Jinxiao was momentarily stunned. "Ping, you're pregnant?" "Mother, aren't you happy that I'm pregnant? Why do you have such a reaction?" Zhao Ping frowned and asked unhappily. Liang Jinxiao smiled. "How is mother not happy? Mother is just too happy. That's why she is like this. My family's Ping is pregnant so quickly. That's great." Chapter 1435. No matter what, Zhao Ping was her daughter. Which parent wouldn't want their child to do well? It was a good thing that Zhao Ping was now married and pregnant. With her in-laws happy, her daughter's life in her in-laws' house would naturally not be so difficult. "Ping, since you're a mother, you have to change your temperament in the future. You have to act like a mother. Your in-laws' house is not as good as your maiden family, so they definitely won't take care of you as well. I can still serve you by your side, but you can't expect your mother-in-law to serve you too." Liang Jinxiao said this as someone who had been through it before. Previously, when she was pregnant, old Zhao's family did not pay much attention to her. She had to do all the chores she had to do when she was pregnant. However, Zhao Ping did not take Liang Jinxiao's words seriously. Zhao Ping curled her lips and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, that can't be. I'm pregnant with the family Qin's only grandchild. How can my mother-in-law not serve me well?" Liang Jinxiao thought about it and felt that this was true. After all, Zhao Ping was different from her. The family Qin would definitely care about the only child in the family Qin's family. Just like when her eldest sister-in-law was pregnant with old Zhao's first grandchild. The old Zhao's family treated her quite well. The family Qin's people would naturally care more about the child in Zhao Ping's stomach. Liang Jinxiao heaved a sigh of relief and said to Zhao Ping, that's good. Mother doesn't have to worry too much about you. Tell your father about it later. Your father will definitely be very happy to hear about it." Zhao Ping agreed happily. Then, she pulled Liang Jinxiao's hand and said, "Mother, your daughter is pregnant. Shouldn't we do something?" Liang Jinxiao was stunned. She looked at Zhao Ping in confusion and said, "Do something? Ping, what do you mean?" "Mother, you see, I'm pregnant and I need to nourish my body. My in-laws don't have anything to nourish my body with. Can you get me some here?" Liang Jinxiao finally understood what was going on. If it was like before, she wouldn't have given it away so easily. Now that Zhao Ping was pregnant, she naturally couldn't be so calculative. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, Okay. Mother will get you some eggs. You can eat them when you go back. They'll nourish your body." Zhao Ping was greedy and felt that Liang Jinxiao had only given her a few eggs. "Mother, give me another hen. I'll stew some soup when I get back. I'll eat the eggs slowly later. Liang Jinxiao hesitated for a moment and finally nodded. Okay, mother will get you a chicken. Hee mother, you are so good to me. Liang Jinxiao shook his head helplessly. She was her daughter after all. She was willing to give her anything she wanted as long as she had it. Moreover, Zhao Ping'er was pregnant. Mother will go out and catch you a chicken now, Liang Jinxiao said as she came out of the room of the third branch and walked in the direction of the chicken coop. Seeing that Liang Jinxiao was catching a chicken, Feng Zhangxia said sarcastically, "Third sister-in-law, are you catching a chicken? Your Ping is back and you're so good to her. You're even killing a chicken to entertain her?" Liang Jinxiao smiled awkwardly and explained, "Ping'er's eldest aunt Ping'er is pregnant. I'm getting a chicken and eggs for her to nourish her body. So that's how it is. Then congratulations, third sister-in-law. Ping'er is actually pregnant. This is a happy occasion." Zhao Ping'er followed her out and raised her head in front of Feng Zhangxia. "Eldest aunt, I don't need you to tell me that." Chapter 1436. Haha Ping'er, it's no big deal to give birth to a child when you're pregnant. Unless you give birth to a son, you'll have a high status in your in-laws' family. Otherwise, your in-laws won't be happy if you give birth to a daughter. Instead, they'll be angry. After all, no one wants to give birth to a good-for-nothing. It's just like how your mother gave birth to you. Not only did you marry into another family, but you even went back to your parents' home from time to get things from them. It's your mother who treats you well. If my daughter was like that, I'd definitely ignore her. Feng Zhangxia's sarcasm made Zhao Ping'er very angry. "Eldest aunt, how do you know that I can't give birth to a son? I'll give birth to one later and anger you to death." "Alright, then I'd like to see if you'll give birth to a son on your first child." Zhao Ping'er couldn't be bothered to argue with Feng Zhangxia. It was originally a happy thing, but after Feng Zhangxia's words, she felt even more annoyed. "Just you wait, you jinx." Liang Jinxiao helplessly twitched the corner of his mouth and said to Feng Zhangxia, "Eldest sister-in-law, don't talk about Ping'er anymore. Ping'er's first child doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. She can slowly give birth to a son in the future. She'll have a few more children sooner or later." However, Feng Zhangxia snorted softly. "Isn't that so? Third sister-in-law, a son is better. If you give birth to a few more daughters, you'll have more mouths to feed. You'll be raised for free." "Sigh, eldest sister-in-law, if you say so." Liang Jinxiao didn't want to argue anymore. At this time, she grabbed a hen and picked the biggest one in the house. It was plump enough. She also went to the kitchen to get 20 eggs. When she was done, she handed them to Zhao Ping'er. "Ping'er, mother has prepared them for you. Take them back." Zhao Ping'er happily took them. "Mother, thank you. I'll be leaving now." After putting the things in the car, Zhao Ping'er couldn't wait to go back and tell the rest of the family Qin the good news. Liang Jinxiao originally wanted Zhao Ping'er to stay for lunch, but thinking that Zhao Ping'er would have to tell the family Qin, he didn't ask her to stay. "Okay, go back. But Ping'er, since you're pregnant, you have to be careful on the way back. Don't be in a hurry. Don't hurt the baby in your belly." Zhao Ping'er nodded heavily. "Mother, I know. Don't worry. She treasured her tummy a lot, so how could she let anything happen to it? To a day, moms. S's. Cunt. Toot. To. Mother's a child s a child. To the family to A's to AA. Family Qin hadn't been doing much work in the fields for the past few days. They used to work in the fields. They worked tirelessly every day and gave most of the food to the landlords. Now that they had other sources of income, they naturally didn't want to do such tiring work that didn't bring in much food. Their family's fields were the most important. Seeing that Zhao Ping'er had returned, Mu Chunfang went up to her and said, "Ping'er, why did you come back so late today?" Zhao Ping'er smiled. "Mother, I was delayed by something today." "What's the matter? Did you go out to play and deliberately came back late?" Mu Chunfang knew Zhao Ping'er's playful personality, so he didn't believe Zhao Ping'er's words. Chapter 1437. After being reminded by Zhao Ping'er, Mu Chunfang was a little curious and asked, Ping'er lass, what's the matter? Tell me quickly. Since mother will be happy, tell me and let mother be happy. Zhao Ping'er grinned and went in front of Mu Chunfang. She said to Mu Chunfang, Mother, you're going to be a grandmother soon. I'm pregnant. What? Mu Chunfang was instantly stunned. The vegetables in her hand fell out of shock, and she could not react for a moment. Mother, I'm pregnant. Hee, I've been feeling unwell these few days. I kept wanting to vomit, so I went to the doctor to have a look. The doctor said that I have a pregnancy pulse. I'm pregnant. Really, Ping'er? You're really pregnant? In that case, our family Qin has a descendant? Ha ha ha, this is good news. Mu Chunfang was very excited. For so many years, what she looked forward to the most was having a grandchild. People around her age in the village had already had a grandchild. It was a pity that their family Qin was poor, and her 2 sons were unable to marry a wife. Now Zhao Ping'er was pregnant. In that case, their family Qin really had a descendant. How could she not be happy? Mu Chunfang held Zhao Ping'er's hand excitedly and said, Ping'er lass, good job. Your stomach is really capable. You've only been married for such a short time, and you're already pregnant. Other people can't even lay eggs for a few years. Zhao Ping'er was praised by Mu Chunfang, and she lowered her head shyly. Hee mother, this isn't all my credit. It's all thanks to Big Brother Yuan. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten pregnant so easily. Zhao Ping'er was praising Mu Chunfang's son. Mu Chunfang was naturally happier. That's right. Yuan is also amazing. Speaking of which, this is all thanks to the 2 of you. Both of you deserve praise. Hee, that's right. Mother, I also brought back a hen and 20 eggs from my mother's house. My mother said that they are for me to nourish my body. Zhao Ping'er pointed at the chicken and eggs in the car. Mu Chunfang smiled and said, Mother will make some for you later. You're pregnant, so you have to eat better to nourish your body. Thank you, Mother. Little girl, what's there to thank me for? You're carrying our family Qin's precious grandson. Naturally, I have to take care of you and serve you well. After hearing Mu Chunfang's words, Zhao Ping'er couldn't help but smile. She knew it. Mu Chunfang would definitely treat her this way. Unlike what Liang Jinxiao had said, who asked her to be pregnant with the family Qin's only child. As Mu Chunfang spoke, he hurriedly called out to Qin Dashan and Qin Yuan, who were in the house. Yuaner's father, Yuaner, hurry up and come out. What's wrong? Qin Dashan poked his head out and asked. Yuaner's father, good news. Ping'er is pregnant. You're going to be a grandfather in the future. After hearing Mu Chunfang's explanation, Qin Dashan was also overjoyed. Really, Ping'er's mother? What's wrong with that? Yuaner's mother, that's really good news. Of course. Our family Qin has a descendant. Isn't that a good thing? That Ping'er girl has worked hard. She has contributed greatly to our family Qin. Isn't that so? Yuaner is also in his 20s. It's time for him to be a father. He's about the same age as him. His children are already old enough. He's considered late. But fortunately he's pregnant. Our family Qin is satisfied. That's right. Yuaner has a child. He's really grown up. Chapter 1438. Zhao Ping'er originally wanted to hear Qin Yuan praise her, but when she saw Qin Yuan's expression, she could not help but frown. She muttered to Qin Yuan, Brother Yuan, why do you look so unhappy? Only then did Qi Dashan and Mu Chunfang notice Qin Yuan's reaction. Seeing that Qin Yuan's reaction was indeed a little strange, Mu Chunfang asked, Yuan, you're going to be a father soon. Why aren't you smiling? Qin Dashan muttered, Yuaner's mother, I think Yuan is so happy that he's silly. That's why he doesn't have any reaction. Mu Chunfang thought about it and felt that it was possible. Once a person was too happy, they would become silly. Hence he teased Qin Yuan. You child, you're so happy that you're muddle-headed. Hurry and wake up. Say something to your wife. It wasn't easy for her to get pregnant with your child. Qin Yuan frowned and asked, Mother, how did you know that I'm going to be a father? Mu Chunfang was baffled by Qin Yuan's words. If you're not going to be a father, Who else is going to be a father? Since Ping is pregnant, then you're going to be a father. Qin Yuan snorted. Mother, you're wrong. Zhao Ping didn't sleep with me alone. Who knows if the child is mine or Big Brother's? Maybe Big Brother is going to be a father. Mu Chunfang and Qin Dashan were instantly stunned. Even Zhao Ping could not help but be stunned. Brother Yuan. This child is definitely his. She slept with Qin Yuan first before sleeping with Qin Chuan. And the number of times she slept with Qin Yuan was far more than the number of times she slept with Qin Chuan. Mu Chunfang and Qin Dashan exchanged glances. They finally understood why Qin Yuan did not look very happy. So it was because of this. Yuaner, this child of yours, no matter if it's yours or your elder brother's, they're all part of our family Qin's bloodline. We should all be happy. Qin Yuan and Qin Chuan were both Mu Chunfang's sons. So no matter who Zhao Ping was pregnant with, Mu Chunfang was very happy. Qin Dashan continued Mu Chunfang's words. That's right, Yuaner. Whether it's yours or your elder brother's, our family Qin should be happy and celebrate. Qin Yuan snorted. Dad, Mom, you can't say that. My child is my child. And Big Brother's child is Big Brother's child. Yuaner, why can't you figure it out? So what if it's your elder brother's child? What are you unhappy about? Qin Yuan asked back. Mom, according to what you said, is Zhao Ping my wife or elder brother's wife? This. Mu Chunfang did not know how to respond for a moment. Qin Dashan said, Yuaner, why are you so conflicted about this? We're from the countryside. Isn't it normal for a few brothers from a poor family to share a wife? Dad, I don't think so. People will definitely laugh at me later. Qin Dashan saw that he could not persuade Qin Yuan, so he did not say anything else. If Qin Yuan was unhappy, so be it. Anyway, it was fine as long as they were happy. Brother Yuan. Zhao Ping stood in front of Qin Yuan, feeling wronged. She was the one who felt the most upset when Qin Yuan said that. Zhao Ping did not want Qin Yuan to say that to her because of the child. Go away. Don't come near me. Qin Yuan entered the house in a fit of pique. Once he thought that his wife might be pregnant with someone else's child, Qin Yuan felt unhappy. Chapter 1439. Zhao Ping could only agree. She hoped that the truth was as Mu Chunfang said. Otherwise, she wouldn't know what to do. All right, Ping, you should go and rest too. In the future, don't do too much chores at home. Your stomach is the most important. Mother will take care of the rest. Zhao Ping nodded. Got it, Mother. Zhao Ping felt stifled. She pulled out a stool and sat on it, thinking about how to make Qin Yuan happy. At this moment, Qin Chuan walked in front of Zhao Ping. Seeing that Zhao Ping was thinking about something, he moved his face closer to Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was shocked when she saw Qin Chuan's face. She said angrily to Qin Chuan, What are you trying to do? Nothing. I just saw that you're like a fool. You're not even blinking. Zhao Ping was a little angry. She already had complaints about Qin Chuan. Now, Qin Chuan actually dared to provoke her. How could Zhao Ping let Qin Chuan off after being called a fool by a fool? She didn't have a reason to torture Qin Chuan. She didn't expect Qin Chuan to come knocking on her door. Zhao Ping jumped up from the stool and pushed Qin Chuan. You fool, who are you scolding? If you have the guts, you can scold me again. Qin Chuan was stunned. Zhao Ping continued to push Qin Chuan. This push caused Qin Chuan to fall to the ground. His buttocks were burning with pain. Sob, sob, sob. Mother, the ugly monster bullied me. Hearing Qin Chuan's cries, Mu Chunfang immediately rushed out of the kitchen. What's wrong, Chuaner? Mother, the ugly monster hit me. You have to avenge me. Mu Chunfang felt a headache coming on. Zhao Ping also felt justified. She complained in front of Mu Chunfang. Mother, he was the one who scared me first. I'm pregnant with family Qin's child. I can't take the scare. What if the baby is scared to death? Mu Chunfang felt that what Zhao Ping said made sense, so he quickly reminded Qin Chuan. Chuaner, you have to be careful. Don't hurt Ping. Ping is pregnant now. Seeing that Mu Chunfang was defending Zhao Ping instead of him, Qin Chuan became even angrier. He sat on the ground and began to act shamelessly. Mother, how can you be so nice to that ugly freak? You don't even care about me anymore. Alright, Chwaner, don't make a fuss in front of Mother. You've made me confused. Mother. Alright. Ping-er is different from before. You have to be more sensible. Don't hurt her. Qin Chuan pursed his lips, feeling a little unhappy. Mu Chunfang whispered into Qin Chuan's ear. Child, do you know that Ping-er might be pregnant with your son? Qin Chuan didn't understand what Mu Chunfang meant. So what? I just hate that ugly freak. I still want to bully her tonight. What? Qin Chuan tugged at Mu Chunfang's hand and said, Mother, can I bully her like before tonight? It had been a while since he did that, and Qin Chuan found himself missing it. Although he didn't know why. Because he was silly, Qin Chuan wasn't afraid to say it out loud. Mu Chunfang's expression changed slightly. Chuaner, you can't. Qin Chuan looked at Mu Chunfang in confusion. Mother, why can't I? Chapter 1440. When a woman was pregnant, especially in the first and second trimesters, she could not move or do that kind of thing. Therefore, even if Qin Chuan wanted to do that with Zhao Ping-er, he was not allowed to do so. Seeing the sharpness in Mu Chunfang's tone, Qin Chuan knew that Mu Chunfang was serious. He pursed his lips in displeasure and did not continue arguing. Mother, you only know how to protect that ugly monster. As he spoke, Qin Chuan got up from the ground angrily and ran away. Mu Chunfang shook his head helplessly. At the same time, he turned around and instructed Zhao Ping-er. Ping-er, after you're pregnant, remember not to do that with Yuan-er at night. Otherwise, the child will be easily miscarried. After reminding Zhao Ping-er, Mu Chunfang went back to the kitchen to make lunch. Zhao Ping-er was stunned. Can't do that again? In other words, she couldn't let Qin Yuan do anything to her. She was pregnant for 10 months. How could she endure it for 10 months? It was simply torturous. At the thought of this, Zhao Ping-er touched her stomach. Suddenly, she didn't want to get pregnant so soon. After Zhao Yin'er had dinner, Zhao Wenhua came to look for her. Now that the house was almost completed, there were some things that could be bought now. Zhao Wenhua came over this time to discuss the purchase of furniture. Now that the house was built, people could move in. It was unlike the 21st century, where the house had to be left to dry for a few months, or even half a year after renovation. In ancient times, there was no need to renovate. There were no cancer-causing materials, so there was no need to worry. After buying the furniture, such as the bed, table, and so on, people could move in. After hearing Zhao Wenhua's instructions, Zhao Yin'er nodded in agreement. Now that Zhao Wenhua was busy building the house, she naturally had to buy the furniture herself. Fortunately, there were many such shops in Yang City. As long as one was a carpenter, they would basically know how to make furniture. She would just have to ask around later. Zhao Yin'er felt much better at the thought of being able to live in a new house soon. After moving into the new house, Zhao Tianan's marriage could also be arranged. Mulan's house was small. Zhu Eru found 2 masons, so the construction of the house was about the same as Zhao Yin'er's house. It was almost finished. Since they both needed to buy furniture, it was better to go with Mulan. The price would be easier to negotiate. Sister-in-law Mulan, you have to buy some beds, cabinets, chairs, and tables. Let's go to Yang City tomorrow and book them. These things have to be customized in advance. You might not be able to buy them now. Mulan happened to be thinking about this matter these 2 days. Hearing Zhao Yin'er mention it again, she nodded and agreed. Okay, let's go there tomorrow morning. And alright, bring Mu Hin along too. Mulan looked at Zhao Yin'er in confusion and asked, Why are you bringing her along? That child doesn't know anything. Zhao Yin'er smiled and explained, I'm not asking her to accompany us. I want to bring her to Yang City to buy some jewelry. Mulan was even more confused. Yin'er, why are you buying jewelry for her? Seeing Mulan's confused expression, Zhao Yin'er said, Sister-in-law Mulan, when the house is built, we can propose marriage. We have to give a betrothal gift to propose marriage, right? The jewelry we give Mu Hin has to like it. I can't just pick it casually, in case it doesn't suit her. Chapter 1441. In ancient times, when people got married, the groom would send betrothal gifts. However, only wealthy families would send some gold, silver, and jewelry. Just like when Zhao Xinhui got married, young Master Meng sent a pile of jewelry. Poor families usually didn't send jewelry. It was already very impressive if they could send a silver hairpin or a silver bracelet. After all, they were just country bumpkins. Therefore, Mulan felt that it was impossible to expect Zhao Yiner's family to give a lot of betrothal gifts or buy many things for Mu Hin. Therefore, she rejected Zhao Yiner and said, "Yiner, there's no need. Your family isn't very rich now. We're all living together and living a normal life. We're from the countryside, so there's no need to be so courteous. Besides, with our relationship, there's no need to be so courteous. It's Mu Hin's good fortune to be able to marry into your family. She definitely won't ask for too many things from your family." Zhao Yiner knew that Mulan was being courteous to her, so she said, "Sister-in-law Mulan, this is our family's sincerity. Just accept it. We're buying these things for Mu Hin, not for you." Mulan glared at Zhao Yiner. "Yiner, seriously? Even if you have some money, shouldn't you keep it properly? Why do you have to spend it? It's not easy for anyone to earn money these days. So, you should save your money properly. Don't spend it." "Sister-in-law Mulan, when did you become so pretentious? If you continue to be so courteous with me, I won't talk to you anymore. Money can be earned slowly after it's spent. Business will only get bigger and bigger. What's the use of keeping money? Mu Hin is such a good girl who married into our family. We should express our gratitude properly." Mulan felt helpless. She realized that she couldn't win against Zhao Yiner at all. Therefore, she could only say, Okay. Yiner, then bring Mu Hin to town tomorrow to buy things. Is that okay?" Zhao Yiner, who was originally stern, finally smiled. "That's right. By the way, Yiner, do you know something?" Seeing Mulan acting so mysteriously, Zhao Yiner couldn't help saying, "Sister-in-law Mulan, if you have something to say, just say it directly. What's the big deal? Did something happen in the village?" Mulan thought. She thought Zhao Yiner said, Yiner, do you know that Xiao Hong and Lu Lei will be married to Lu Lei? Lu Lei will be married into the Xiao family's family." Hearing this, Zhao Yiner was stunned. Lu Yin Mu Mu Yin Zesit didn't look like there was a mistake. However, Zhao Yiner felt that Lu Lei wouldn't marry Xiao Hong so easily. Was it because he felt that he was getting old and needed to get married? So he just casually picked a girl? Or did he really like Xiao Hong and want to be with her? In any case, it shouldn't be that simple. Mulan thought that Zhao Yiner was unhappy. After all, Zhao Yiner and Lu Lei got along quite well in the past, so they more or less had some feelings for each other. Now that she heard that Lu Lei and Xiao Hong were getting married, she had such a reaction. Mulan comforted her. "Yiner, you got along well with Lu Lei back then. He treated you well. But Master Shitzi is even better. You didn't get together with Lu Lei, but you met such a good man like Master Shitzi. Master Shitzi is also Daoda's father. It's good that your family is together." Chapter 1442. Zhao Yiner chuckled. She guessed that Mulan was right. "Sister-in-law Mulan, you're right. It's a good thing that he's getting married. After all, it's not good to be alone. If he's with Xiao Hong can at least take care of him." Yes, that's the case. Xiao Hong wasn't the best person, but Zhao Yiner knew that Xiao Hong would definitely treat Lu Lei well. Because she loved Lu Lei, she would take good care of him. Of course, the most important thing was that once Lu Lei got married, he would stop thinking about her and wouldn't miss her anymore. Thinking about that, Zhao Yiner only wished him well. "Sister-in-law Mulan, since they're getting married, we have to send them some money. Call me when you're sending the money. I'll go too." Mulan smiled and said, "Okay, Yiner, I got it. Don't worry, I'll call you." Okay. The next morning, the few of them rushed to Sun City. Sun City was as lively as ever. Zhao Yiner and Mulan looked for a few carpentry shops together. After shopping around, they finally chose an old carpentry shop. The carpenters in this shop were older and had decades of experience, so their skills were pretty good. It was just that this shop was a little out of the way, and also a little rundown. There weren't many people here. In addition, the carpenters were old, so their speed was a little slow. The customers saw that their efficiency wasn't high. There were many carpenters in Sun City, so naturally there weren't many customers here. Zhao Yun saw that it would take some time for her house to be finished. The carpenters would be able to finish it in a few days, so Zhao Yun decided on it. She liked doing business with honest people. Zhao Yun could tell that this old carpenter was pretty good. That was why she chose him. Mulan also made a reservation at this shop. When the old carpenter saw that they had ordered so many goods at once, he gave them a discount again. After all the preparations were done, Zhao Yun brought Mu Hin to a jewelry shop. This jewelry store was neither big nor small. Most large jewelry stores catered to the rich. Most of them sold expensive jewelry. With Zhao Yun's wealth, she probably couldn't afford it. Middle-class shops would sell jewelry aimed at ordinary people. Wealthy families in the countryside and towns often came here to buy jewelry. The jewelry was placed on the table for the guests to choose from. There were all kinds of hairpins, bracelets, necklaces, and head ornaments. These ancient jewelry were all handmade, but the level of exquisiteness was no less than the jewelry of the 21st century. On the contrary, it had more charm than the jewelry made by machines in the 21st century. After Zhao Yun saw it, she couldn't help but want to buy a few. Mu Hin looked around. After seeing such exquisite jewelry, he was a little embarrassed to choose. Mu Hin, what's wrong? Why aren't you choosing? Do you not like any of these accessories? If you don't like them, why don't we go to another shop to choose? Mu Hin shook his head. No, Sister Yun, it's not that I don't like them. I just feel that these things are too expensive. I can't accept them. Mulan felt that any random item would cost a few taels of silver. In the countryside, who would be willing to spend so much money? Zhao Yun couldn't help but laugh. This child, since I'm letting you choose, I'm sincerely buying it for you. You're saving money for me. Don't worry, it's fine. Just choose. You don't have to worry about this little bit of money. Although Zhao Yun said this, Mu Hin felt apologetic. Chapter 1443. She felt that it was a great blessing for her to be able to marry Zhao Tianan. Zhao Yun was so good to her that she was afraid that she would be taking advantage of her. Sister Yun, I know that you are good to me, but these accessories are really too expensive. I will be living with Tianan in the future. If I spend money on these things, people in the countryside will definitely gossip. Actually, these worldly possessions are really nothing. I am happy as long as Tianan is around. Looking at such an honest girl, Zhao Yun could not help but laugh. Mu Hin, it is Tianan's blessing to have married such a good wife like you. However, these accessories are not from Tianan. As his elder sister, they are completely from my heart. Why? Do you have the heart to not let me be happy? Sister Yun. Zhao Yun tugged at Mu Hin's hand and said to Mu Hin. All right, Mu Hin, don't hesitate anymore. Just accept it. It is not good to be so hesitant. Mu Hin could not refuse, and could only nod. All right then, Sister Yun, I won't stand on ceremony with you. I will accept it. Okay. Seeing that Mu Hin did not refuse, Zhao Yun's smile deepened. Mu Hin looked at the accessories, and skipped over the ones that looked expensive. She only considered those that looked more plain, and did not seem to cost much. She chose the best ones and chose a plain silver hairpin, a silver bracelet, and a pearl necklace. Although it was considered cheap in comparison, these pieces of jewelry were indeed good things for the people in the countryside. If she wore them, she would be envied to death. If a woman in the countryside had a silver bracelet, it would be enough to show off. Sister Yun, these are enough. Mu Hin said to Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun looked at the few items that Mu Hin had chosen, and knew that Mu Hin had chosen cheap items on purpose to save money for her. She could not help but feel a little touched. This child was indeed too honest. If this was an ordinary girl, she would be eager to buy the best and most expensive items. However, it was precisely because of this that Zhao Yun liked Mu Hin more. At least this girl was kind and pure. She was the most suitable person to live with. Her younger brother was also very pure and honest. If he were to be with a girl like Ma Xiaofeng, he would inevitably be bullied. In the future, Mu-hin would be able to live a down-to-earth with Zhao Tianan. Are you still trying to save money? These items won't do. Zhao Yin did not let Mu-hin choose by herself. She would definitely choose cheap items. Therefore, she chose a pair of gold earrings and a glass hairpin. The design was very unique and beautiful, especially the glass hairpin, which shone beautifully. Zhao Yin'er fell in love with it at first sight. Sister Yin'er, how much did this cost? Isn't it too expensive? Mu-hin was a little embarrassed to accept it. It's okay. Let's go and pay the bill. Zhao Yin held Mu-hin's hand and said. Mu-hin blushed slightly. She was very touched. Ever since she left the Mu family, her life had been much better. Whether it was Mulan or Zhao Yin'er, they were very good to her. If she were in the Mu family, she would not have such a good life. Only when she came here did she understand what it meant to be cared for, to be able to be relatives with someone like Zhao Yin'er in the future. It was really a blessing that she had cultivated in her previous life. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.